Hey everybody, we're here, and we're ready to play in just a minute as soon as I fix everything.
Welcome.
But yeah, we thought we'd switch over and say hi to everybody first. I'm getting the Roll20 dice roller thing up, and I think that might be the last thing. How is everybody doing?
I'm doing well. How are
doing
you?
great. How are you, Bobby? Other than slightly stressed that you haven't gotten your stuff done yet.
Slightly stressed. I feel... There we go. Okay, it was shaky for a second. I'm not stressed about this. I'm stressed about everything else. The streamathon's starting tomorrow and whatnot. So.
Oh my gosh.
I am so excited.
That's one word for it.
Yeah.
I'm also excited.
Yeah.
You guys can be stressed out, but I get to play games for 8.5 hours and not worry about a thing.
Yeah, hey, no, I'm excited, but
right, so
it is
always
one
exciting,
of many words.
It is quite intense for a couple of days, to say nothing.
Look, I got some lights behind me. Here's some Shadowrun themed lighting. You see that?
Yeah, it looks like you're about to shoot a porn.
I know. That's perfect for 6th World Shadowrun edition, right? So there we go. I'm gonna put some water in a cup so that I can drink it, and then we'll get started. So
Where do I get that shirt? I want +2 dexterity and +1
This
charisma. And +1. Oh, it's a coffee. Oh my god, that's even better.
Yeah.
I love it.
If anybody in the community knows anything about me, it's that I drink at least a pot of coffee a day.
I want that shirt. I'm gonna find it now. Well,
not
now. Maybe during
my
break.
beloved wife got it for me, so I have even no idea where she got it. She spends a lot of time on Think Geek, so maybe that's where she got it. They're going away, aren't they? I gotta get water.
Yeah,
I'll be back.
I was in the Think Geek store the other day, right before Origins, and picked up a T-shirt, and they're like $10. And I was like, $10? Like, yeah, all of our shirts are $10. I was like, well, give me all the shirts then.
This was at Origins?
So I got, right before Origins, yeah. Right.
Oh
Just
man,
right
I missed
before Origins.
out.
I walked in and I was like, give me some $10 shirts. So I got a cool X-Men shirt. I got a Wild Stallions shirt. I got a Wolverine shirt.
Nice.
Yeah, all
I think
kinds of
Geek was awesome.
I think they still are for like a time. But
Okay. I'll have to stalk them and find out what's happening.
so yeah, I did a lot of walking at Origins, which was the only saving grace I have because I also ate probably about 5,000 calories a day at Origins, and now I'm feeling lardy wherever I go. I'm just like, oh my gosh, when is my life gonna be done? Because I can't make it through. Just throwing myself around like this, waddling.
Yeah, the food in that area is just so good.
It is. It really
It
is.
is for indie too, but not as good as it is for Origins, I don't think.
My hope is to spend the time between now and Gen Con, like just trying desperately to eat healthier and go to a couple extra classes of Hapkido a week. We'll see.
I'm right there with you. I've been trying to hit a goal before Gen Con. Mostly
I failed my Origins goal spectacularly.
Well, mostly it's like one of those like, okay, well I know I'm going to gain like 5 to 10 pounds at Gen Con, so let's try to
try to mitigate that.
Yeah, let's try to take some of that off before I get there.
Yep.
Because there's so many food trucks and delicious restaurants and beer.
Yes, the beer was actually a big problem for me. I was just like, let's have some more beer. Why not? Yeah. That's a comfortable thing that people do, right? Yeah.
Right. Well, everybody, you need to tell your friends to show up and hang out with us tonight. We're going to be playing Shadowrun 6th edition, or 6th World edition, as they are calling it. And we're going to be showcasing the rules. That's what we do here, is showing off how this game works, and we have a lot of fun doing it. I'm moving into host mode here in a second, right now, but I need to like roll the intro thing first, just for
Oh, are we just chatting while you get the stuff? Is that we're just killing time?
Yeah, I'm about to
Killing time.
I'm
So I'll take this opportunity to talk about Killing Time, which is our Optiverse crossover that's coming up on Friday and Saturday of the Streamathon. We're taking all of our Optiverse shows and we're crushing them together, and we're having a cool crossover where somebody's trying to destroy time, and the Optiverse heroes have to stop it. So tune in; it'll be great.
Ooh,
We
I
got a
get the GM part
crossover
of
photo.
that.
That's right. Cliff actually starts off the GMing-ness,
Yeah.
and I get to play along with. I'm going to point out to Sarah. She's playing along with us as Core, and Bobby doesn't get to play.
No,
He's a
I'm
nerd.
I'm not in it.
Doesn't get. We don't let him play. Any
No
of our
nerds
regular games
allowed.
until one foggy Christmas Eve. I'm sure.
I'm gonna switch us to a central server and see if that fixes. That brings Sarah 5 seconds into our present. Because she's on a big. She's delayed quite a bit.
I am just from the past. That's
Yeah,
all.
that seemed to work. We'll see
Future?
if that continues to work.
Cool.
All right, I'm gonna roll this, and then we're gonna get started. Is everybody ready? Is the chat room ready? Let me pop out the chat. Is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Woo!
All right. Got some music playing in the background. Feeling good. Thanks for the sub. The Merciless Ming.
Merciless Ming.
Thanks, MM.
All right, I give up. My printer has failed me.
Oh no. Ours did
I'll
recently.
print
We
off
had
one
to buy a new one.
page. It's acting like it's a functional printer and everything, but it's just being a total bastard about this one thing.
Yeah.
It's the one thing I liked about this printer is like every time I wanted
Is
to
it
print
wasn't
something,
a bastard.
it would just print, right? It would work. Not like any HP product I've ever owned, which has been absolute garbage. This is a different brand that has generally been more reliable. It has failed me in this instance, so I'm angry, but not angry enough to name its brand yet.
Darn.
If it's a bastard and you're from the north, does that make it a printer snow?
Yeah. Yes.
John Printer.
Printer.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna save us from that.
Yay!
Oh, wait a minute. That didn't work. Things are... See, everything's broken lately.
Speaking of broken, has
Screw it.
anybody been listening to the Blackout podcasts? They've been pretty awesome.
I hear
fine.
everybody
I can't
raving
wait.
about them all the
I
time.
broke Opti in the last couple episodes.
Ooh. I am way behind on them. I've been catching up on Resting Glitch Face.
I've heard amazing things about Resting Glitch Face.
I just met her last night.
Yeah, we all did.
They're, it's a great podcast, and they use Shadowrun Anarchy, which is really fun.
Neat.
Yeah. Keep
Let's go in there,
distracting.
Bobby.
Keep distracting everyone.
Okay.
I've got it. I've got it.
Okay.
Well, I'll talk about a thing. So,
Yeah, talk
I
about
don't
the
know if
thing.
anyone's-
The thing.
yeah, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but on the Shadowrun 6th World website, they have this Doomsday Countdown thing that's going off in about 3 days, and I have no idea what's going to happen, so maybe we should all watch.
I think we should watch.
Yeah.
Because Sarah might be involved with something that's
You have to
happening.
say wink, wink in case people aren't looking.
Wink, wink.
Oh, is my Johnson? It's my Johnson. Great. That's lovely. Lovely thing to come out of my mouth. Somebody said, "Oh wow, Mr. Johnson's video is lagging behind," and I was going to say, "Oh, is my video lagging behind?" And now I just say, "Oh, my Johnson," in the middle.
Yeah.
In the middle of video going out on the internet. So thank you so much, Merciless Ming.
That's
And
a terrible
for the
thing to be
Freudian
talking
slip
like.
mechanic. Yes. So somebody's gonna like put that with auto tune and a dubstep beat, and me coming down from the mountain as Moses with an oath on and a Shadowrun book.
Yes.
Catchphrase.
Actually, I really want to see that video now. I
Yeah,
don't
right?
mind.
All
My
right.
Johnson.
All right. It worked. I tested it. It worked. And everybody saw the test. So now I'm gonna do it for real. We're a real professional stream network here tonight, guys.
Outfit.
Yeah.
We're a professional outfit.
All right, so here we go.
Yeah.
Quiet time. Hey everybody, here we are on the Shadowrun 6th World Edition, 6th Edition live actual play. My name is Bobby, and we have some others here like Mr. Johnson, our GM. Say hello, Mr. Johnson.
Hello, I am Cliff, or Mr. Johnson.
And we have Sarah Krause as well from Rem Alterni's Productions. How's it going, Sarah? Sorry, I just said your name. How did I mess that up?
It's a hard one. Oh, everything's good. Post Origins glow.
Yeah, I see that. I was not there, so I have no such glow.
Yeah, you just saw glow behind you, though.
Yeah, I have fancy glow.
Yeah, that's a very Shadowrun 6th edition glow you have behind you.
And finally, down there is Opti. How's it going, Opti?
I can't talk. I'm super boss. Thanks for asking. I'm both looking forward to and preparing myself diligently for the streamathon that's coming up tomorrow. And I'm excited to get back into decking.
Absolutely. So since nice cyber deck.
The Post-its sell it.
Right? that'd be like the awesome, like, I'm such a crappy decker that I have to have Post-it notes to tell me what to do.
Alt tab.
Wait, guys, give me a second. I have a Post-it for this.
Yeah. So, speaking of the streamathon tomorrow, we should go ahead and mention that. So everybody who's listening here tonight, you should know that starting tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, right here on this network, we are going to begin our 36-hour streamathon, our annual 36-hour streamathon, where we will be starting at 4 p.m. Eastern, as I said, streaming content for 36 hours straight. Many of us doing large chunks of that time. Sarah, I know, is doing 8.5 hours of it, like back to back. The first, right at the beginning, right?
Yeah, I'm doing the Killing Time Optiverse crossover, followed by Paranoia, followed by Clue, and then I'm going to bed.
Yeah. And then I know Mr. I tallied some numbers up, and I think Mr. Johnson and Opti are doing both around the 14 to maybe like 19 hours. Or I know Oz is doing 19 hours.
Yeah, we're the slackers.
Right. I know Oz is doing around 19 hours, and this year I tallied it up, and I was surprised to see that I've somehow talked myself into doing 25 hours of the 36. So that's gonna be,
man.
Yeah, that's gonna be it's gonna be a lot of fun. I actually enjoy pushing myself to the limit for this thing. So.
I tried to wiggle out of some of my DJ work for the weekend to do more of it, but there's just too many people getting married around here, I guess.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing that. It's 36 hours of all sorts of content. We're going to be, as we've already said, doing not just one, but two streams, two full streamed episodes of Optiverse, Opti's Mutants and Masterminds homebrew. That's really exciting because it's sort of like a crossover event because you have like a bunch of different shows with different casts, and you're doing a crossover event across those two episodes, right?
Yes, there's two shows that we have going on right now, the Variants and the Justicars, and both of those shows, or I should say characters from both of those shows are going to be in this crossover, but there's also going to be a new team introduced called Star Patrol, and so we have 5 characters from that, I don't want to give too many spoilers away, but
yeah,
essentially some characters from the Star Patrol in the future, 1,000 years in the future, are coming back to try to fix something that is broken with time, and hijinks ensue.
So we're really excited about that. And some of our classic shows that we've done every year, Paranoia is going to be making its return, of course. Sarah is super excited to be joining us for that.
I've never played. We did character creation the other night, and I'm like stupid excited about this.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. We have a ton of fun playing Paranoia, and Kenji, you did not miss the game. We're getting started just now. So and we're gonna be doing lots of stuff. We're playing Once Upon a Tabletop, our board game show where we role play our board gaming, and we're gonna be, as is now going to be the tradition with every streamathon, we do a classic sort of like family, anyway, we're doing, last year we did the Game of Life. This year we're doing Clue, the classic mystery board game, and we set that up last night. That's going to be, again, a ton of fun. We're going to have a blast with that. And you guys will too, watching us. There's tons of shows, and Shadowrun 6th edition is certainly not going to be absent from that. We have stuff about Shadowrun peppered all throughout the streamathon, little like 1 and 2 hour things. One thing is we're going to have I just spoke to him today, Mr. Jason Hardy, Shadowrun line developer, is coming back to talk to me on Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to do another live Q&A like we've done already on the network. And he's going to come back and answer your questions again. So if you want to ask questions about the game, maybe you've had a chance to look at some of the reviews of the beginner box set, or you've maybe you were at Origins and you've been looking at it yourself, and you have questions about that, and maybe what's coming with the full edition, what we're going to be showcasing and playing tonight, then you should come on Saturday at 8 p.m. He's going to be on for 1 hour. We're going to answer as many questions of yours as possible, and do that, and then right after that, jump into some more gaming. The full schedule is on our website. You can go to shadowcasters.network/fundraiser, and there's lots of information there. But of course, we're all doing this for our yearly summer fundraiser, which we are doing great at. I think I can say we are. I just looked earlier. I think we're about 65% of the way to our goal, guys. Can you believe that?
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's
Awesome.
it's
Doing the streamathon 2/3 of the way through.
yeah. Very. We have. Go ahead.
Maybe we'll have a surge and we'll end up releasing the Pirates campaign to the world, or maybe it will be some other day.
Maybe it won't. Yeah, you know what? The only way that's going to happen, guys. I mean, maybe this is a tough thing to do, but stranger things have happened. All right. If Mr. Johnson has promised that the Pirates actual play campaign, which is currently only available to patrons of the Arcology podcast, will get released to the general public for everyone to listen to. A full-blown campaign of Shadowrun if we get to the $4,000 goal before the streamathon starts tomorrow. So that's a big chunk of time to go. But if some of you
did you mention some of the things that we're raffling off?
So that's a really good thing to mention, because our raffle has really beefed up since the last time we talked about it. I think publicly to a bunch of people, and. So one of the most popular ways that people contribute to our fundraiser every year is by getting, we call them karma points, but they're just raffle tickets, and you get your name entered into a drawing to win some stuff like raffles do, but there's tons of Shadowrun stuff to win. There's all sorts of things to win, but I'm just gonna go through just the big Shadowrun items. And this isn't even going to be all the Shadowrun stuff. This is just the stuff that I think you guys will be the most excited about that you can win. Are you ready? Here we go, because there's kind of a lot of them. You can win a physical copy of the Shadowrun 6th edition beginner box set. We actually have 2 of those available. One of them is unopened. The other one is only opened because it was donated by a very gracious community member. I know his Discord handle, Aaron Burser. I can't remember I don't have the name right off the top of my head, but anyway, he is donating the one that he got, but he said he could not resist taking there was a set of dice in there that he collects dice. So he's offering that, everything else up from the beginner box set. That's the quick start rules, all the gear and item cards and ability cards, the adventures that come in it, like the maps, all the cool stuff that's in there. So we have 2 of those we're giving away, physical ones. They're going to get mailed to you. Also, the Shadowrun Sprawl Ops board game, which was sent out to Kickstarter backers, plus the expansion set for that game and a New Yen chip that comes with it. We're raffling that off. That's a really big item. The sold at Origins, there was a miniatures set, a Prime Runners miniatures set. We're raffling one of those off as well. It's a full set of little miniatures that have all the Prime Runners. There's a pack that was also being sold at Origin of Shadowrun dice and edge tokens that are really nice quality. From what I hear, I haven't gotten a chance to hold them, but I hear they're really nice. A physical copy of Streetpedia. That's there you go. Thank you, Opti. Lower it just a tiny bit. There you go. That's the miniatures right there that you can get. So it'll give you a little bit of idea of what they look like, how big they are. Like I said, a physical copy of Streetpedia. 3 different leather Shadowrun dice bags that are going to be raffled off. I mean, man, there's a lot of stuff. Some of the other things are drive-through RPG coupons. There's going to be 2 $25 coupons and a $50 coupon that we're going to raffle off. Character art, custom character art. Some artists are donating that. We just found, I don't even think any of you guys know this. Our amazing assistant Cassie, who's also on a lot of our shows, managed to get in touch with a woodworking company called Arcanic Artistry, and they're going to custom make a set of 4 wooden coasters with the Shadowrun logo on them, and send those to a winner in our raffle. So much stuff. That's only like half. That's only like half of the total things that we're giving away. And what I've been telling everyone, because I've done the math on it, is that your odds of winning something are really quite amazing, because our community is small, and we have so many things to raffle off. You've got really good odds of winning. I'm looking at the math that I did earlier. If you were to buy 1 ticket right now, your odds look like about 13% that you're going to win something. All right, that's just with one $5 raffle ticket. If you get 5 tickets, you have a 50% chance of winning at least something. And if you were to get 10 tickets, that's about a 75% chance of winning something. So like really good odds. I've never been in a raffle with odds that good. So if I buy 8 tickets, what are the chances of me winning 3 things? Oh my gosh. I don't know. I have to rerun my combinatorics. But probably lower, but still quite good. Every year last year we had a couple of people win like 3 things. So obviously the more tickets you get, the more times your name is in, and we draw your name and that ticket gets pulled out, but the other tickets that you've bought stay in the hat. So your name can be drawn multiple times. So do it. And yeah, let me drop a link for the fundraiser. There's other things you can get on the fundraiser, but I really want to emphasize the raffle tickets because we're going to be drawing all of those during the streamathon, and we might do some right at the start of the streamathon at 4 p.m. tomorrow. So if you want to have a chance to get as much as possible, you want to make sure that you get those purchased. Now, there's going to be lots of time, lots of opportunities to help out the fundraiser during the streamathon as well. So tune in. Paranoia is always a lot of fun if you like to see your donations somehow interact with the stream. We have lots of fun ways for you to screw with the players in the game by donating.
Please buy me all the cards. I will totally use them to screw Sarah over at every possible at every possible chance.
You're going down.
I'm sure I am, but I'm taking you with me.
I haven't announced this yet, but last year I opened up the ability for people to go ahead and start donating to buy their favorite players some action cards a little bit ahead of time of the game. So look for that. I might do that again this year.
Do it now and buy me all the cards, please.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, that's enough about the fundraiser because I'm sure I will try to hawk some raffle tickets again later. we should get started. As you can see by the way that I got a screenshot of Austin there, and I filtered it so it looks like a nice like in memoriam photo. I'm realizing now, but Austin just wasn't able to, due to work reasons, wasn't able to make it with us tonight. So he'll catch us another time.
His
That
character
grin, though, makes
exists,
me want to grin.
and he'll be able to provide transport, but not any significant input or serious fire support other than what might be able to be used narratively. So, much like we used Jin last week as an occasional plot device and information gathering, you've got your rigger to do basic background rigger duties. I find that's a really nice way to handle it if you're missing someone for a session and you still want to get the game going. Their character really isn't in any more serious danger than anybody else's, and they're not going to be singled out and have their character killed, but you still have an excuse to give them experience points and include them in the rewards, and the team still has somewhat limited access to the capabilities.
Right.
But before we get into the game, I just one more quick diversion from Sarah and Opti. You were both at Origins, where Shadowrun 6th edition was first being offered up as a limited demo option. I believe 5th edition was still being used for most of the missions games, but they had some demos going. Did you hear any feedback from people at the con who got a chance to try out the game for the first time?
I did, yeah.
I did, yeah.
I was in the room for in the mornings, and we ran a lot of the demos, and people seem to like the streamlining. There's always going to be mechanics that you miss, but the beginner box and having the characters that they have and the types, like we got the feedback that it still feels very Shadowrun.
Cool. I agree with that.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it sort of took people's imagination in a slightly different direction than 5th edition, but it wasn't bad. I know that there is the tendency to want to focus on like what you liked from your old edition or what you're familiar with and comfortable with,
Sure.
and to kind of compare and contrast. But it really does feel like almost a different game. Like not a different setting. It still feels Shadowrun, but it does feel like a different game than 5th. And I'm still getting my hooks into it and still sort of doing that myself. But the people that played it, the people that seem to get through the QSR, the beginner box, I didn't hear many complaints. And I want to be honest here. I don't know if that's just con high or not, but the reality is I didn't hear many people complaining about it.
I think a benefit too is that they released 2 books at Origins as well. They had No Future and the Streetpedia.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Which is all lore. And they've got the same like logo for 6th and stuff like that. So you can see that they're trying to transition the story overall, and that drummed up a lot of excitement in terms of, oh, this is still our world. This is still our game.
Mm-hmm.
The mechanics may look different, but it's still our Shadowrun.
Cool. Well, let's dive on into the game tonight. I guess we should do a little bit of a recap. It's been a little while since we played last, though not too terribly long. You're all operating in Chicago. You ran some errands, did some things. You got a job done. You got paid. You're doing all right. And you were looking into this possibility of this crazy guy with a suitcase nuke. You found out that he will likely need some sort of like encryption key device to be able to use it. So maybe it's a little bit less scary than it was, but you'll want to keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, you've been hired to get this guy named Matador, who is apparently owes some people some money. You're supposed to go get him, grab him alive, not necessarily completely intact. You can knock him around a bit and bring him in. What makes it difficult is that he's in the nasty part of town in Chicago, of course, and a particularly nasty part of the nasty part of town, which is in the territory of the gang called the Fleshmongers, which apparently he has some ties to or friends with or contacts with, or is maybe paying to let him stay there and not eat him or something. That's the situation. And sorry, I need to step away for just a moment. I'll be right back. I'll let you guys sort of fill in some of the details while I step away a moment.
Certainly wouldn't be a
So
run.
what happened? What did you guys do as part of the run last time while I wasn't around?
So we managed to get our hoops out of the CZ with the pay data, or with what we were, the MacGuffin. We had to sneak our way back out of. Well, some of us snuck, and some of us conned our way out of the CZ through the wall, through Lone Star stuff like checkpoints.
Okay,
And-
let me skip to the chase. Once you receive the run, how much of the run have you done? Where did Bobby go?
I dropped my teeth. I
I
dropped
just
my
looked
teeth.
over and he just disappeared.
So yeah. So we haven't done any of the run yet. We didn't want to jump in. We did a lot of like downtime and sort of like we did like a GTA style run where we delivered a like a like a piece of we like delivered a delivery truck to some gangers or something and dropped it off and left.
You picked up a car that Austin's skipper's contact was sending you to pick up that he was purchasing.
Yeah. So we have not begun this run at all. We've only just just gotten the run.
Okay, so we're looking for a guy named Matador. Is that right?
That's correct.
And that's basically all we know. We're just retrieving this guy.
Right. We also did some legwork looking up some information about the nuke guy. Remember the guy that we saw on video in the CZ while we were down there, saying
Canyon.
Canyon. That's
We
right.
got
Who shot
So-
the?
We got
Go ahead, Sarah.
We got a comlink number.
Yes, we have his number.
Yeah, he's a runner, a rigger, who's known for smuggling, but also just other operations, part of a team, leader of a team. And apparently Ganon was the name of the decker on the team, which you witnessed his death. He also has a combat mage and a street Sam that are apparently still working with him.
Right.
Okay.
So that's where we are.
And then you said, Cliff, that we are are we healed up? Do we have our edge refreshed?
Edge refreshes at the beginning of the session. And which means it resets to your edge attribute in as far as how many points.
Are
you
we
have
are we
available to spend.
calling every stream the refresh of a
Yep.
session?
Yep.
Okay. And then as far as healing goes, how long have we had in between runs?
I think
Uh,
it was a few days, so everyone we kind of
You took enough time for everyone to heal up, I believe.
Sure did.
That's what I was looking for.
No one,
everyone
Yeah.
except you.
Yeah.
and
I was
No one
pretty
currently-
messed up.
We made sure to keep asking you favors so you never got to rest.
Hey Jin, can you download this movie for me? Hey Jin, can you give me straight A's on my test?
Also, the final pay for our job was 7,500 New Yen.
Ooh.
So you've got 7,500 more New Yen.
Oh, we also have went to my street doc, Dr. Diver, and then we were still coming up with a name for the spirit that is now my best friend.
Oh, is this the moody teenager? Or
No,
is this
we had the movie Teenager, but this was the water spirit that was like, or no, the air spirit that was so excitable.
Well, he left, right? But
Yeah, but he wants me to call him all the time.
oh yeah, we got his number too.
yeah, it was his first time.
Yeah.
It's first time. Their first time.
Who knows?
Just call him Bright Eyes.
I should ask next time. Are you?
If you
How
call
do
him
you
Bright
identify?
Eyes, then like I'll sing every time he comes
I was
up.
listening to that
Right,
song in
I
the
was
car
just about-
today.
And I'm probably thinking of an entirely different song as well. You guys aren't thinking Blind Guardian, are you?
Mm-mm.
I was thinking of two different songs, and one of them isn't even Bright Eyes, but like the first one is that '80s song, "Total Eclipse of the Heart,"
Yep, that's
and
it.
then the second one is "Mr. Brightside,"
Right,
which
of
is
course.
not Bright Eyes, but that's the one that came to my mind anyway.
Right. But I was total Eclipse of the Heart. I was listening to that.
So you said 7,500?
7,500.
Yes, the song
Bam.
I was thinking of is actually called Bright Eyes, and it's by Blind Guardian, which is the best metal band in the history of metal bands.
Yeah.
That is an irrefutable fact.
Should we also introduce our characters?
Yeah, let's run through it and start the run. So we have on my, I think my left, I'm not sure if it's pointing the way I think it is, Bobby playing Rooster, who is the weapons specialist, who's supposed to have bigger teeth.
Yeah,
Aren't
when
you,
I'm
Bobby?
when I'm talking and when I'm in character. I scratched my gums last time. I'm trying.
I don't
no.
envy you wearing those things.
Gotta take it easy.
He's pretty handy with weapons, and
Yeah. The name's Rooster. Former Ares Firewatch officer. And I definitely know my way around the rifle. I got a Desert Strike. It's my favorite. And who's my favorite? and if I'm not on point, then where am I? Really?
and then we have Sarah playing Denen, or a mage.
I am Demen. I don't really want to talk about it.
But
Jin,
we're gonna
are you
make
Jin?
you.
Okay, thanks for making that awkward. Jin, played by Opti, our Decker. I didn't say that in the right order, but you get what I mean. It says it on the screen.
Yes, I'm Opti. I'm playing Jin, who is the most fabulous brute force decker coming out of Constantinople. He's literally slumming it in Chicago, trying to build up a rep for himself and running away from something that he feels shame about. But he's going to be here, he's going to do his thing, and he's going to do it looking fabulous.
That was a great intro. Maybe you should do Denen's in the future.
This is Denen. She's super awkward and throws magic.
Good job.
All right, so Big Dave got you a job. He met you in the parking lot of this restaurant and sent you after this guy. You're supposed to go get him. Pretty simple, straightforward, easy peasy, right? Just try not to get eaten. You've got a location, generally speaking, of where he should be, like probably about in this building, so to speak, based on some of the sort of recon or surveillance data some people have managed to pull in preparation for this run, but not really much of anything else to go on.
Well, we know where he's supposed to be. We know that there's fleshmongers there. I'm not a real big fan of those people. If
Pretty
you
much
can call
nobody
them
in
that.
Chicago is.
Yeah.
What do we know about these fleshmongers?
They're mongers of flesh.
Doesn't monger mean like
Salesperson.
right? Okay, so like this. Okay, oh, that's okay. Gross.
Yeah, they engage in human trafficking of the variety where they gather people, chop them up, and sell them to ghouls or tamanists, depending on who's interested on which bits.
Yeah.
Oh, so like human supermarkets.
Yeah. They make Taminus look good.
Gross. And this Matador fellow is in fleshmonger territory.
Yeah. So
Yep, he's a street Sam type who apparently owes some people some money to the point where they're willing to hire some runners to go get him.
So
And
let
bring
me
him back
do
alive.
let me do some legwork here. I'm going to look up the fleshmongers, see if I can't get any hints on who runs the gang or if anybody's had any luck dealing with them in any successful. I'm going to assume that is well, it's not cracking, so it's got to be electronics.
Yeah, I'd say electronics plus intuition for just a general matrix search.
All right.
all right. Whoa!
That is. I can't see it.
You just got 8 hits
Oh my gosh!
on
I got
10
8
dice.
Wow.
That's incredible. That's the best.
You found
that's the
him.
best role I've ever had playing Shadowrun.
Turns out he's going grocery shopping across the street.
Crushed it.
Nailed his credit card number. Swiped at the
You guys, if there's one thing I know, it's surfing the internet.
Your
Okay,
Google foo is on point.
So you gather, like over the course of a few minutes, you gather and compile a bunch of data from across the Matrix about lore about this group called the Fleshmongers. You get some video clips here and there of some of their vehicles. They're just kind of nasty, rundown, like icky looking things. They'll like run around and shoot people and toss the corpses into the back of the truck, drive off, just treating them like meat, just awful. And yeah, they generally like most of them aren't ghouls, but they do a lot of business like selling food to ghouls. Oftentimes there's at least like some ghoul amongst or around them. And apparently they're part of a larger coalition of gangs called the Horde, which don't necessarily all follow the ghoul shtick, but they're, pretty rowdy, Mad Max style, dangerous gangers in the wasteland of Chicago. They've been having maybe a bit of a rougher time of things since the reclamation efforts have sounded off, but they're a bit more organized than some. So if you really push these guys hard and they have time to call in backup or reinforcements, you might find yourself dealing with more big badass gangs full of assholes.
All right, so if I have to guess, the best way forward is to avoid the gang activity in this area completely.
I'm good at avoiding things.
How are we gonna?
I'm all for that.
Oh.
I was shot so many times last run that I have a newfound appreciation for not getting shot.
Don't you have enough? Don't you already have some chrome in you anyway? Just a couple of bullets
Yes,
isn't gonna hurt
it's
you
on
bad.
on the inside.
It was after you got shot as
my-
well. What I'm saying is, stop being such a
Yeah,
baby.
That's true. That's wait a minute. No, this is. I thought you had a plan for everything.
I do have a plan. Those fleshmongers, that's a bonus if we could take a couple of those bastards out.
You're not. No, I disagree with your plan. Let's avoid the fighting with the gang and go right after this mastodon, I agree. Man-eater.
I agree.
Matador.
Mantis.
Okay,
Matador.
the problem with that plan is that Matador is hiding in their turf, like in one of the buildings they kind of keep an eye on, and some of them probably sleep in. And they're probably not going to like you going in their turf and, grabbing one of the people who's kind of under their protection, maybe. Or maybe they won't care. Maybe you can make a deal.
Maybe you could ask them
Maybe you can
very
just
nicely.
buy him off of them. But
Buy
I'm
him?
not getting enough paid for that. You're paid
I like
enough
this
for that.
plan. So, Ruther, you will go and buy them, and I will wait in the van on Overwatch. This is a good plan.
So, I look down at myself, and I say, "You think I'm gonna walk in there and they're gonna sell me something?"
You look like someone who would eat flesh.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that.
These are the rumors I hear about your people.
All right, we're gonna have a talk about racial sensitivity when we get done with this run.
I
But,
have no judgment, my friend. I think you look fabulous doing whatever you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think. But right now, I agree with you. We need to go in there, but I'm not interested in playing around with these jerkholes. If things start to go south, I'm not gonna try to, go plan B, C, or D. You see what I'm saying? We go in, we try a plan. If it doesn't work, then we get the guy and we get the frag out of there.
I am not going to spend many nights wondering what I could have done differently rather than shoot these fleshmongers. So I will have my Shiawase Arms Monsoon at my side, and I will wield it with wanton violence. Does this please you?
Pleases me pleases me greatly.
Very well.
Good talk, bunny.
Mage woman, will you kill the fleshmongers with us? I will take that as a yes. Let us be off.
All right. So, is there anything in particular that you're doing before you head on out to Fleshmonger Turf to go find this guy? The building, you've got some like grainy footage that shows some figure that might be him, probably is, going into this building after talking to some gangers and like doing a handshake but fist bump thing and giving him a cred stick. It's about 2.5 stories tall. It was probably once 4 stories, judging by the general rubble around and still part of it.
Okay.
Do we?
It seems to be one of the more intact buildings in its immediate area.
All right, so what is our tactical plan here? I'll walk up, and what am I supposed to do? Say, hey, I hear you have a guy named Matador. You want 50 new yen to let me take him out?
Perhaps you can, since they have a loose association with the Horde, perhaps that can be your in. Pretend to be one of these Hordesmen.
What do I know about the Horde?
It's a bunch of gangs. Mostly metahumans. Their original leader was an orc. Actually, do you have the knowledge skills to back this up?
I have an Aries, not an Aries. That's not gonna help. I have a Chicago area knowledge skill. That's about it.
All right, maybe that's a little farther than that would go, but I'll let that go that far at least.
Okay.
You know the stuff I just mentioned at least.
Well, I don't know a lot about these guys, but I mean, I guess I could just tell them, hey, I'm in the Horde. What if they ask for a secret handshake or wonder why I'm not wearing one of their jackets?
Yeah, if you're not dressed up as one of the Horde gang members, it's probably not going to fly being one of them. You might be able to pass yourself off as having talked to another one of them.
I'll tell him my cousin is in the Horde. So maybe that'll work. And that we're looking for.
So you're running an errand. You're a courier.
Yeah. Got someone who's looking to talk to this Matador guy. Someone that wants to talk to him.
Or they sell things to Tenemis, so maybe throw some gray flesh paint on and pretend to be a ghoul or something.
I'm trying to think of what my angle is going to be for.
I want some flesh. I heard you have a matador.
I have a very particular taste. In fact, I only like to eat flesh.
Would that be a thing in the sixth world? Like ghouls be like, I have a very particular fetish. I like eating people who used to fight bulls. I like eating people with gray hair.
I don't see why not.
Right? It's clearly would be a thing.
Yeah.
Are we parked near this building right now?
No, we haven't left yet, right?
Okay.
You're still kind of like within Chicago, within the CZ, but not the nastier part at this point. You haven't really headed down to like the Noose where this Fleshmonger territory is yet.
The slightly more organized, debris-ridden Chicago.
Yeah, there's even some shiny parts.
All right, so inevitably the Drek is gonna hit the fan, and then what are we doing? We're just barging our way in and grabbing this guy.
I mean, I feel like I suggested we avoid, and you were like, no, let's kill people. And then I was like, let's kill people, and you're like, what's the plan? Like, we could just go in, like, what? We could just go in shooting if we know where this guy is. We could just bust in all tactical and do the thing.
What if
that's what you want.
what if we just go in and offer people money for like, hey, you know this guy? Help us, and then we leave without fighting or getting punched in the face.
We could offer people for this guy, and then once we have him, we could shoot our way out instead of giving them people.
All right.
Like, hey, we have a bus load of tourists.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All right. Sounds good to me. We just need to find we just need to find where this guy is. Once we have his location, then we can just either get him to take us to him, to get him to escort us there and then get our way out, or just get our way in. But we need to know where the guy is first. That's
Do any of us have face skills?
No, our face
definitely me.
is Austin.
Okay, well, I can try to do my internet skills again and maybe track his persona. Maybe see if I can triangulate where he might be. I say that as if that's a possible thing I can
What
do.
if I can find out if somebody who knows the guy and then can get him to give a call, could you somehow eavesdrop on that comm call and track the guy?
You know I can, sir!
All right,
If
then.
you can get him on an active call, you can track him. Theoretically, if you can call him and get him to pick it up and keep him on the line for a couple of combat turns, you might be able to trace him.
Very good. Now, how are you going to pull that off?
It would probably be helpful to be like close by when you do that, because then you could react to where his immediate position is.
So maybe head down there, general area, flesh monger.
Hey,
Sounds
Skipper,
good.
would you mind driving?
Sure thing. No problem.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so Skipper skillfully drives you down there, avoiding a number of different hazards that only a rigger could have done so without trouble. But we're skipping past all that because he's not here and it's all in the background. And you find yourselves on the edge of Fleshmonger turf. You're able to observe from a decent vantage point and just kind of watch for a little while and see that there's not much going on around this area, not many people moving out and about. It seems very still, though there are these trucks that occasionally drive through, and these are like old pickup trucks with big old spikes sticking up here and there with like skulls still on them, probably authentic ones. And these trucks have like maybe a half a dozen of these guys hanging around on them. They're just driving around, shining flashlights around. Seems like they're on patrol watching for trouble. They're a fairly wide spacing between them, and their patrols seem relatively random, though you haven't observed them for very long. So they would be pretty easy to track down and intercept, and probably not that difficult to sneak past and avoid. That said, there might be subtler eyes watching amongst the decrepit ruins of the buildings up ahead.
I know that there are many people who are not good drivers, but there are no excuses for driving vehicles that tacky.
That's right. Hey, you don't think my car is tacky, do you?
I did not say this.
No, I mean, it's just a thought that I had. Like you seem to have a discerning eye about those things, and
Ah, well, thank you very much. What do I think about his car? Is it nice? What is your car? What is
it's a plain old like beige Ford Americar.
Do you want Rooster, would you like me to be honest or would you like me to be encouraging? I find it is always good to ask first.
I can handle it, Jin.
Your car is not tacky, but neither is it nice to look at.
Thanks.
It is just boring.
Thanks for good. Boring I can do.
Glad I could help.
All right, so
Yes, it's quite bland.
so the building where we
I'm
are,
only slightly embarrassed to drive it.
the building where we are is. So wait, this is the building in question, or this is
So-
just, or we haven't gotten there yet.
So Skipper has driven you down nearby and
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of parked in kind of a a little bit of a sheltered ruin of like maybe a couple of walls and a little bit of outcropping that hasn't fallen over yet. So you got a nice little place to kind of hide and watch from. And you can see the building up ahead, like maybe a couple of blocks up. It's hard to tell the blocks exactly because everything here is just so messed up and rubbly and full of like old rusted out shells and wrecks of cars and just tatters and old ruins of buildings. This was one of the places that was probably actually affected by a nuke. And any of you who might have an atmospheric detector or something up is probably detecting, somewhat harmful levels of background radiation. Not enough to be like dangerous to you now, but not exactly a place where you just want to stay for a long time.
Well, I don't have the Chicago knowledge that everyone else does, and I do not have any way of detecting radiation, so I don't know this, and so I suggest we just power forward.
Look.
Everyone just take a deep breath.
Yeah. It's not
Smells too bad for Jin to feel comfortable taking deep breaths.
Yeah, that's not how radiation works.
In fact, I wonder if Jin shouldn't carry around like those masks, those paper masks that everywhere he goes, he just has one of those.
They taught us a good bit about radiation back in Ares, so.
Give me a perception test, whoever's kind of looking around at things.
No problem.
Can I do an astral one?
I mean, it's still the perception skill.
Okay.
Perception plus intuition. Yeah, I'll assume you're perceiving astrally.
I got a 4.
That's a 1.
4 hits.
3 hits.
All right, so with the 3 and the 4 hits, both Danen and Rooster happen to notice that there is a small group of living things. Danen, you kind of see this like a bit of an astral cloud around them, and then there are a bunch of smaller auras. It looks like about 7 or 8 devil rats or so, with something bigger amongst them, maybe one of the big ones.
Oh,
leading
frag
the
that.
pack, sort of moving from one group of shadows to the other, like back behind you a ways, maybe about 50 or so meters, not in the direction of your target, but you happen to notice them moving about. And Rooster, you noticed them, but with a lot less detail, but enough to know what those are.
Oh yeah, I
with
know
your low
what,
light
I know
vision.
what those are. I pull out my Desert Strike and cock it, and I say, "There's fragging devil rats out there."
Oh, that's distressing.
And you basically see them like emerge from one hidey hole or something and like skitter across the road and then disappear amongst some other rubble across the way. And it's a ways off, so it's not like they're in immediate danger, but you see them and it's like, oh, frag.
Yeah. Listen, Skipper, I don't give a frag how we get through this little conundrum here to get to our location, but we are avoiding those fragging vermin, all right? We will not go anywhere near them. They are diseased and disgusting and vicious.
I don't know why you guys had such a hard time with them before. They seemed fine to me by the time I got back to my body.
Yeah, because they were dead. But not before almost killing me and Jin. Jin, back me up here.
It was hard almost dying. I was not a fan.
We're staying away from them, is what I'm saying. Go that way, Skipper.
So
you
how
guys
are you
have
going
to
to get Matador to use his phone?
I'm gonna tell them that I need to. One thing we know about Matador is that he likes to ride a bike. He's a biker of sorts. I was thinking I could say that I needed to. I was trying to. Matador wanted to come and hang out and show me something about his bike and take a look at mine. And I've been looking around here and I can't find the guy. And maybe you could help get me in touch with him. Do you know?
Maybe I could just ring all the phones in the area.
Well, I was gonna ask them. Do you know if this Matador guy, and could you give him a call or something?
Okay, go ahead. In the middle of Fleshmonger territory, Skin that smoke wagon. See what happens.
We need to find the building first. I'm talking about the building where this guy is.
Well, you can see the building where he supposedly is. That said, you have not confirmed that's where he actually is.
Right.
Jin, as you're powering up your deck and not noticing the rats moving around, you can see the matrix area here. Is the coverage is spotty at best. You're looking at 2 points of noise just from the conditions. And
Gross.
you are starting to pick up that there are some devices in the general vicinity here and there. You'll have to start actually looking for them to get any more significant information, but there's a few little blips of some matrix stuff, like a little ways here and there. Most of them in the direction of the where you plan to be headed, or maybe don't want to go.
Okay, I will start making perception checks in the direction of the place where we think Matador might be.
All right, go ahead and give me an electronics plus intuition roll for that.
Hopefully it'll be as good as the last one. I do get a bonus edge for this because it is a logic test.
It's an intuition-based test,
Oh,
actually.
sorry. I just totally mucked that up. I rolled a 1 for lying to Cliff.
Okay, well, you've got your deck pulled up, and you're looking at things mostly in AR at this point. Probably in case a rat jumps out to eat your face or something, even though you're still kind of in the truck. And you are picking up, you do see 4 different comlinks that aren't even bothering to run silent. They're pretty cheap, low-grade stuff, like maybe rating 3 or so. And they each have some different devices slaved to them. Most of them are weapons of some kind, like an older SmartLink pistol, like a Predator 5. Looks like one of them has a Defiance T250 with an external SmartLink. Stuff like that. A few guns.
Hey everyone, there's people with guns here.
4 total, and you're picking them up. You don't have their exact positions. You'd have to do a trace icon to actually get the exact locations, or you'd have to get within 100 meters of them. But you're pretty sure they're of their general direction and vicinity. It's probably near that building you're going towards.
Well, I passed that information on to Rooster at least, so that he can have an idea and take point and be on the plan and.
I'm not good at talking to people. I don't like this.
I have naturally high charisma, or so I'm told.
I'm starting to think just walking up and asking for Matador might be a bad idea.
What if we get out of the car, stick our guns in people's faces, and demand Matador?
Hey, that's a little bit more my style. So I can do that.
What are you able to get the locations of these individuals that you found on the Matrix?
I'll be honest, that wasn't my best moment. I suppose if I tried harder, I might be able to lock something down.
Alright, take a minus, I think it's -2 dice off your roll, and try again. And then, as you're doing that, Skipper is actually launching a few different spy drones to get some coverage of the area. He lets you know that he hasn't seen any sign of Matador based on the imagery that you've been given to identify him with. If he's out and about, he's not. Or he's staying undercover.
We do have an image of him or something to reference, right?
Yeah, you know what he looks like. You got some pictures.
Yeah, Jin, if you're able to hammer down the 4 locations of the people you saw, then I might be able to go to those locations and kind of phase in and see if it's our guy.
I can do that. I rolled 3 hits, by the way, Cliff.
Okay, doing some more digging around, you see a little bit further off, but coming this way is another group of several comlinks. As as one of those patrol trucks is headed in this general direction. You're also detecting the other one that's even further off. You think you'll be able to use this to kind of track their positions and make it easier to slip past them if you choose to, or, intercept them and kick their asses if that's what you want to do. With the 3 hits, you're also... I think that's all you're going to get. Yep, that's all you get.
All right, I pass that information on to our mage and tell her that's where the people are.
So they're scattered or they're together? I'm sorry, I missed that.
I think they were scattered. Isn't that right?
There's essentially 3 main groups. There's the 2 groups that are each with the truck, and then there's the other group that's kind of somewhat near or around the building, but you haven't ascertained exactly where they are yet. He'll have to get closer, or he'll have to do some individual traces.
Okay, I'm gonna just peruse the groups carefully. Try to do some astral sneaking and stay out of sight, and then manifest within a wall and just kind of poke my head through and be like, not our guys, and then fade. So let's hope my sneaking rolls are with me today, guys.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a sneaking roll, which would be your stealth skill plus your astral agility, as you project and check that. Your astral agility, I believe, is your logic.
Good news. So that's okay. As I find roll 20, I'm a little slow today, guys. I still have con hangover.
Conover.
I got 2 hits, which isn't great. Let's see what I rolled here. Can I spend an edge? Is it 1 edge or 2 edges to change one of those 4s to a 5?
That would be a
It's
2-edge
to bump
boost.
up.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Why not?
So, for those of you watching 6th edition Shadowrun for the first time, one thing you can do with Edge is spend it on boosts to do various things. For 2 Edge, you can increase the value of a single die roll by 1, which is the pretty much the only reason you would do that I can think of is to change a 4 into a 5 on a die to get an extra success guaranteed. So that's what Sarah just did.
So there's this one building that's on the way to the main one that you're kind of floating towards, slipping through, and you're looking around, keeping an eye out for things. You can see the astral forms of a few people here and there. The general mood of the place is just nasty and icky and horrible, just awful. Fear and hatred and hunger and greed and hopelessness, just everything bad you can imagine, just seeping into everything here to one degree or another. And you start to get a little bit distracted by that, but you're sort of sticking to the shadows and staying to where, like, not shadows so much, but trying to stay near cover so your aura isn't as easy to pick out from the background count. But as you're starting to move past, kind of use this diner for cover to get closer to the building, you can see up ahead that there's a couple of gangers. You think they are hanging out, just loitering in front of the building, and in one of them their aura shines brightly, but at this sort of sickly, twisted way. You think they're actually able to observe the astral space, like they're dual-natured or astrally perceiving, so you duck around this diner, and then as you're kind of pausing for a moment to make sure that they didn't notice you or nothing's coming after you, you start to notice and hear these sounds within the diner, and maybe there's something inside this little diner building. It sounds like maybe several different people, maybe, or maybe devil rats. Would you like to take a peek?
That was a very good Denon sound. No. I want to kind of retreat out of there. I'm not a fighter, and I get spooked easily. So.
Okay, well at this point you're still astrally projecting, so you can still move pretty quickly. But yeah, your body isn't there to be eaten necessarily by the devil rats.
Yeah,
but
I don't know what these guys can do. So I'm gonna go ahead and whoosh at least into the next building or up a floor or something like that, just to get out of dodge of whatever this is and let my astral heart rate settle a little bit.
okay, you whoosh away, leaving behind a little bit of a streak in the air as your aura passed. Perhaps unknown to your character, the ghoul ganger out in front of the building kind of looked up and go, "Huh? You see that? See what? Of course you wouldn't see it. Eyes are fragging useless. Look who's talking. Oh wait, you can't." And they go back and forth a bit.
I'm gonna, with my hasty retreat, I'm gonna go ahead to the next group.
Right, so you scout around, you're basically able to find, it looks like each group that's patrolling in trucks has at least one of these, in one case, two of these dual-natured people amongst them. If you take time to sense them, you'll discover that they're ghouls.
All of them are?
No, the dual-natured ones.
Okay.
The other ones are probably humans, mundanes. You don't seem to detect much of magical ability or augmentations amongst them. They're probably fairly low threat, though they do seem to have high numbers, and they're insane and evil.
Yay! All right, so the first group, how many dual-natured were there?
Okay, there's two trucks that are going around. One of them has one ghoul, one has two. There are also two figures that were hanging out in front of the building. One of those was a ghoul.
Okay. Ooh.
That's all you spotted so far. You haven't gone in any of the buildings or peeked into any of them.
Right, but these are these were the groups that Jin was able to find, correct?
Mostly. I mean, he said there were like 4 guys with guns like wandering around the building somewhere. You've only seen 2 that might account for that. And also you haven't seen anyone who you think might be Matador.
Right.
Though you probably wouldn't know him if you saw him because you're looking purely astrally and you haven't seen his aura ever.
Right. I'm going to do one more quick search for those other 2 missing guys with the guns.
Okay, you start looking around. Are you trying to be sneaky or are you just trying to look fast?
Real sneaky.
Okay, so you're kind of ducking it from one room to another, kind of using the walls to advantage because you can't see through physical objects in astral space. Go ahead and give me your sneaking test. Stealth plus logic.
Oh, that's real bad.
All right, so you slip with 0 hits. You slip into one of the rooms, like the first one you go into.
Hold on, back
and
up.
there's like...
It's worse. It's worse than that.
Oh,
It's worse
lovely.
than that.
She glitched also.
Oh my, that is a critical glitch.
Oh no!
Yes! Ah! So you go like floating into a room and you see like there's these 4 guys there.
Man,
and
I was
you're pretty sure
formulating
they're
a plan too,
fleshmongers.
Sarah. What's your...
No!
You're pretty sure they're fleshmongers because they each have these like twisted, evil, sickly auras about them, even though none of them are astral. So like, you're relaxed. They're no threat to you. They have no idea that you're here. What you're not aware of, though, is that they have a dog in the room that is a hellhound. That is a dual-natured dog that is able to astrally perceive and thus also bite and bark at spirits, in addition to like, flame-throwing powers. You don't have to worry about the flames so much, but you do have to worry about the thing biting you in the ass with no defense test because you're completely unaware of it.
Oh, yeah. There you go. It was devil rats for us.
You're about to get your astral chewed.
I hate you. All right, let's punish me because I have like no edge. I have 1 edge left to spend.
Okay, so I got 4 hits on you, and good news for the Hellhound, those are all net hits.
Oh!
So you get to soak only with your astral body, which is your willpower. So hopefully that's a good stat for you. That's your only good news.
Sarah, do me a favor and turn your camera off and back on again real fast in Discord. You're a slideshow right now.
And we really want to see your face when
Wait, what? Yeah.
when this happens.
There you go. That's better. Oh wait, now can we not see? Now we can't see you. Make sure you're not muted. Or now I can't hear you, rather.
Thanks, guys.
All right, there you
You're so supportive.
go.
Speaking of supportive,
I
go
really
ahead
don't
and roll
want.
that willpower.
I really don't want to.
Okay, you can take the full damage if you want.
Punished.
I rolled a 1, guys.
Ooh, that's good. I mean,
All right.
you know,
Well, did you want to spend any edge to adjust the outcome of that? Because that's going to hurt.
Let's see what my options are with one edge here.
You can re-roll a die. That's about it.
Let's do it. We're doing one.
do it.
All right.
Okay, so this thing bites into you, just ripping through your astral form. You feel its malice,
Rip.
like just raking across, like into behind you. Like it's just those teeth and the barking and the essence of a mean dog and all that. And it eviscerates you from the inside out on an emotional and spiritual level as well as a physical one. And you guys back in the truck see her body. Suddenly, just like there's this wrenching sound, and blood is starting to pour out from her all over the place.
Ooh.
You've just taken 6 boxes of physical damage.
Ah!
Roll your initiative.
Rooster, would you
you.
say this was normal?
But the only time this ever happened back in Firewatch for our team mages was when Drek went south in the astral. No, it doesn't look normal to me.
So should we perhaps involve ourselves?
I'm not sure what we can do except for we
right.
could knock her out.
What's your initiative total?
That would be a 10.
All right, that means the Hellhound gets to go again before you get to act.
Guys, it's been a pleasure
Ew.
playing with you.
So you
Yeah,
can make a
see you at the
defense
end.
test. I believe it's intuition plus intuition minus your wound modifiers. And this thing's gonna try to bite you. And yeah, some of the other forms are starting to stand like, oh, look! What's that? Must be a spirit.
Guys, I can't roll. That's a 2.
Oh, actually, I should be comparing numbers here for Edge. Sorry, what is your defense rating in astral space?
My normal defense rating is 4. How would that adjust in Astral?
I'm not sure. I think it would just be your willpower, or maybe there's a formula. We should probably look it up.
Yeah,
Let's do that real quick. I'm checking the magic section.
And the race is on.
All right, astral projection, astral combat. Defense rating is intuition plus innate armor. So basically your intuition, unless you have some sort of mystic armor.
No.
Your
So
attack
that's-
rating would be your magic rating plus your tradition attribute. Oh, but your initiative is your logic plus your intuition plus 2d6. Is that what you rolled?
For my initiative?
Yeah. Did you
Logic
roll?
plus intuition plus. No, I just rolled my regular. I forgot about it.
Okay.
All right, so let's. Do you want me to
roll
update that?
one. Yeah, just re-roll that then with the new logic plus intuition plus 2d6, and there's a chance you might go before the Hellhound.
We just got
Dear
three subs in a row. Reverend
Sweet.
Oz, thank you guys, and Palmer
Nice.
for 16 months. Palmer, nice.
Thank you, Palmer.
Thank you,
and
Beanie.
thank you, Reverend. And
Yeah.
thank you, Oz.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you,
everybody.
everyone.
I'm saving my Twitch Prime resub for like a good moment to kill a stream boss and something.
Yeah, that's
sometime.
always fun to do.
I got an 18.
Okay, so
Oh, that's good, that's
scratch that. It doesn't get to go before you get. You can see you turn. You can see this big, evil hellhound astral active dog thing bearing down on you, tearing through your astral form. It can't actually physically hold you in place or astrally physically hold you in place. You know what I mean? But it's biting the crap out of you, and it looks like it wants to keep doing it some more. What do you do?
Yeah, right. No belly rubs for you, and I zoom back to my my body.
Okay, yeah, the first thing you notice, because you've already started to feel the pain, is just this warm wetness all over your lower
And when you wake
body.
up, because the last thing that me and Jin were talking about was we were discussing what to do, and the last thing Rooster said was, I think, well, I'm not sure if this is Deckers or Mages, I can't remember, but I think we can knock her out and help her. So, like, I pulled out of my gun, and I'm about to smash the butt of my gun into your face when you wake up. So, okay. Are you okay? You're bleeding.
You said I'm feeling this warm wetness, so like.
Yeah, you look down and you realize you were covered in blood, and then you realize that must be your own blood, as there's physical representations of the damage you took in astral space.
Do you need a towel? Skipper has a towel under his seat back here.
It hurts a lot.
Yes, please.
We have a med kit now, although no one knows how to
Can we use it? Yeah.
As I'm bleeding, I will try to cast heal on myself.
Okay, go ahead and do that. It's your spell casting skill plus magic, I believe. Minus your wound modifiers. There's nothing that would give you an edge in this case. And I believe if your essence is 6, you get 1 hit plus however many hits you get. But
Cool.
you have to get at least 1 hit to get to count the freebie.
Sure. So let's see. I've got. That's gonna be 13 dice, minus 2 for my wounds.
While you're rolling that, Eric, we found out in the rules that it doesn't say anything about being able to use a medkit's rating to roll. Although we did talk to
I think Bob Goldbrecht said something about that
He's
have
pretty sure it
been
should be
a mistake,
that's a
Generally-
mistake.
or at least it just didn't get mentioned somewhere. The assumption was there, but it never got mentioned.
Generally speaking, the only benefit of the medkit so far, rules as written, is that it lets you do an extra first aid test that can be done within an hour of injury instead of within, I think, minutes.
Yeah. But
You
you
can
still
do
have
first
to have
aid, and then a medkit first aid, and then healing, and they
Right.
can be done in any order.
But
You
until
know, if I ever get to write Shadowrun, what I'm gonna introduce
one day.
is something I know. It's something like shouldn't we have something like bone marrow nanites that just they're like adaptive cells, right? That you just inject them and they I don't know, like it's 2080.
I'm kind of
We should
assuming that that's part of what you're doing with the medkit.
Yeah. that's
Yeah,
kind of in
but
my head
shouldn't
canon
it be like a healing potion? Right?
I mean,
why
that's
not?
kind of how it works, right? You take a few action, you take like an action or two, and over the course of a few seconds, they heal up some damage.
Yeah,
if you know what you're doing.
medkits are kind of like healing potions now because the healing happens instantaneously per the
Speaking
rules.
of instantaneous healing, Danen cast a heal spell, which takes only 1 action now instead
Yeah.
of multiple combat turns. How many hits did you get?
I got 4 hits, so
Oh,
plus that
nice.
1. I
Well,
healed
5 out of
my
6 damage there.
Yep.
Nice.
So
And then
to wrap up the
Rain-
medkit conversation,
Hold on.
it's sorry.
Rain.
Sorry.
Important.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yes.
Let's
Good
just
call.
not forget the drain. Okay, now that the drain is not being forgotten, you can carry on talking about me. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. The medkit thing. So it's not definitively been told to us that it was a mistake. It has been suggested that it might need to be looked at again and possibly errated. Now, because of that, and because we're trying to stick to rules as written as closely as we can, I think we're gonna stick with it that way. I mean, Mr. Johnson can of course make
think
a call if we
I'm
want.
going to my caveat for now, or what I'm going to do for now, is to allow a med kit to allow you to make untrained first aid and med kit tests.
Okay.
So if you've got it, you can make the roll, but there's no bonus. It's just you can make an untrained skill test, so it's
Okay.
logic -1.
Okay. Then that's what we'll
Which
do.
probably means it won't work very well if someone's at all augmented, because it
Right.
takes a lot of hits to patch up someone who's mostly wires and gears and stuff.
Right. So, okay, then that's how we'll handle it. But know that right now, the way you can use medkits and first aid is sort of, or at least medkits is sort of like possibly in flux. It may be errated fairly quickly, but
So here's a question too, right? Like if healing is hard to do on people with low essence,
Mhm.
but that's because like they're machines, right? Like more
Yes.
machine
Right.
than man or woman, as the case may be. So like honestly though, I'm not even messing around, but honestly, shouldn't there be some sort of like cyberware skill that would allow you to heal people with cyber?
I
I
Right,
like
agree.
the idea of doing that with like it being based on you can do a certain number of hits, but however much you can heal is limited based on how much essence loss you have of equipment. Like maybe you can only be healed in one go a number of boxes equal to your full essence loss.
I agree.
Right, like it should be inverse from the amount that you can be healed the other direction.
I like that
Right.
idea, but we're not making up house rules on this.
Not yet.
But I do like that. I do like that. I may well use it myself. So, Danan, you still have a box of damage. Do you want to try to patch that up with your med kit? Doing a untrained healing test? I
Sure,
think if you
why
get
not?
one hit, you'll heal up.
Great.
Of course, it also, I am full transparency here. Logic -1 does mean you're more likely to roll a critical glitch than, some other rolls might be. And that's
I'm
my
really-
vested interest.
I'm really hoping that this is a game and it's a fun game, and I like risk and I like challenge, and I like
Risk
playing
is
the
not a fun
odds
game.
that it won't
Sorry, keep
happen again. So I'm gonna go ahead and go for it. So logic.
Logic -1.
Yep, you bust out the med kit, follow the instructions, and with one hit manage to do enough of the right thing to put some bandages on, and you can feel the healing nanites going through and doing nice things to your body and hopefully not giving you a CFD, and you heal up that last box of damage.
I don't like that. Hopefully not giving you CFT.
Can't let you heal yourself completely comfortably here.
I could have done that for you if you needed to. I mean, I hate that you just did that to yourself. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
It's cool. Just put the gun down, please.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So,
So what'd you find out, and what the frag happened in there?
There's lots of ghouls hanging out with metas, which I don't get, and then I went into this one
Ghouls want
place and they were
friends,
they were in this like doctoring place or whatever, and I got attacked by a hellhound. It was terrifying. With one bite, he was like ripping me apart, and that was really
Right.
scary, and I didn't like it, and I don't really want to go far away from you guys again. So, Rooster, you're bigger
Yeah.
than me. Can I stand behind you always?
That's fine. I certainly don't blame you. Let's avoid the doctor's doctoring place for sure.
Okay.
All
that
right.
sounds trying.
These
Thanks
these
for the
vehicles that
concern.
have been going around. I've got a plan. These vehicles that have been going around. How many people do they have in them?
Looks like 6.
6 each?
Yeah,
Holy maybe my plan won't work.
like a driver, somebody in the cab, and like 4 hanging out in the back. And out of them, like one of them has a ghoul, one of them has 2 ghouls. Oh, and then Ken point out which room the hellhound and the guys here were in, at least.
There's
It's one of the
also
corners.
there was also just 2 guys on the front door, right?
Yep, one of those
One
was
was
a
a ghoul?
ghoul.
Yeah. So
The
that's
important thing to know about
yeah.
the ghouls is invisibility spells don't work on them.
yo.
They see the invisibility spell brightly glowing in astral space.
It's almost like the GM wanted to not let me through easily.
Also, how long between, like, on average, the truck's going by? Like, let's say we wanted to walk up to the door, tell those guys they need to tell us where this guy is, and then possibly pull a gun on him if they give us any lip. How much time would we have before one of these 6-person trucks drives by?
Probably less than a minute.
Oh, mother.
I mean, as far as it randomly driving by, it might be a while. But I mean, like, if they hear there's trouble, they call for help. Yeah, one of those trucks is probably a minute or so away or less. And they're both probably going to be within 2 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
So you've got at least 4 gangers, like they're at the building as well. 2 of which are hanging around outside. Wait, so that means at least 2 more as well, because there were 4 guys in the room with a hellhound. So
let's try a back way in. I don't want to.
Plus whatever was in that diner.
I don't like the walking up the front and talking to these guys. I don't like these 12 people driving around.
Well, they are a gang.
I don't like gangs.
The thing about gangs on their turf is their response time is generally pretty fast.
Fair enough. But unfortunately, we have to get into their turf. I guess we're gonna have to try to sneak in the back door. Danen, you're the sneaky specialist.
All right, Skipper lets
Please
you
don't
know
leave
that
me
he'll provide backup with oversight with drones, and he's got the vehicle ready to go to like pull in and get you guys out of there when you're ready.
All right.
But other than that, he's gonna hang back and try not to be noticed.
Good. Great idea, Skipper. Great idea, Skipper. All right. So let's see. How about? All right. So what's the back of this place look like? Is there a door or something that we could walk into, or is there a window we could?
Holes, more likely.
Is there the trucks that they're in, or the vans, or the cars? Are they
Pickup
Matrix enabled?
They do not appear to be Matrix enabled.
Okay.
You are picking up comlinks among them. You are picking up comlinks among them, and like it seems like there's each one of them has a gun of some kind, and they all seem to have like they're active on the Matrix, such as it is.
I can't think of anything that I could do, like in a one-shot way that would take them away from us.
I could distract him. I can drop one of these smoke grenades over on the other side of the building and activate it remotely. That might pull the trucks away, and then we could do something that might buy us some time. What do you think about that?
That's not the worst plan that we've had today.
Again, the problem is once we get in, we have to find this guy, and we have to do it as quickly as possible by attracting as little attention as possible.
Do we have anything that can knock him out quickly so that he doesn't call for help?
I have another stun grenade. I have stun grenades. I have stick and shock bullets. And of course I've got my fists.
Does Danen have any spirits active at the moment?
Not at the moment. I think if we've been resting for several. I'm considering summoning, but I kind of want to wait for fun. Actually, you know what? We can at least bring the big boy in. So why don't we go ahead and do a Force 6 now?
All right. What kind of spirit?
Everyone likes the spirit of air friend from last time, so let's go ahead and bring him back. I don't think we've named him yet either. We asked the chat last time, and then the game ended. So let's bring him back. So I'm gonna be rolling my conjuring plus
Magic.
magic.
And I roll 12 dice.
had an interesting discussion about magic and spirits this week, about why they take the form that they take.
And
And
before you say, I'm going to interrupt you. I'm also going to spend reagents up to the force, which gains me one of my edge back.
Nice.
Oh,
nice. That's cool.
Oh, thank God. I finally
Nice.
rolled a 5. Jesus, Pete. If you rolled high, I'm going to be real pissed.
That's 5 hits.
Yep.
Okay, you start to conjure up an air spirit, and you're using the reagents, and you can feel the power flowing through you and gathering, and it starts to gather more and more, and the air starts to rush out of your lungs and away from you, and you're starting to asphyxiate, and your eyes are starting to, like, your vision is starting to go black. You, like, fall over, and you have trouble breathing. You fail to summon a spirit and must resist 7 drain.
Oh my gosh.
Damn!
7 hits
I'm
on
having a
12
bad
dice.
day, guys. That
There's
hurts.
something about this place that, like, you don't know what, but yeah, you've never had that happen before. Maybe it was the reagents used, maybe it's the background count here, but that was scary.
All right, I take 3 more stun. God.
And you guys see her, she started to turn blue for a moment there before her color starts coming back.
I'm
Take
having
it
a
easy,
bad
Janan.
day.
Perhaps we can get you a gun instead.
Oh, no. You were not paying. You must not. You weren't here or paying attention last time. We're better off not giving her a gun.
That was real fun. I was hoping, Rooster, that you'd forget.
I'm sure Skipper's pointing to the hole in the roof of his.
It's like, yep, still haven't had that patched.
Opti, since you weren't here, I am inept in firearms.
Fair
And
enough.
literally that combined with I think Gremlins, it was not pretty last time. All right. Okay, so here's the plan. I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna set off a smoke grenade over on the back side of the building. Hopefully that's gonna draw those people away. Then we're gonna walk up. Danen, do you feel like you could stealth one or both of us? I don't want to tax you though, because you've been having a rough day.
Considering you're on a time crunch, it might not be a bad idea to take an hour and recover some stun.
Not a.
Yeah, I could use a rest and I could try, but keep in mind the ghouls can see right through it.
All right, maybe it would be no, that's okay. The ghouls are gonna be in the trucks on the other side. There's no ghouls guarding the front door, are there?
Yeah, there is. There's one of the 2 guys is guarding the front door.
All right, forget the stealth then. I do think we should take a break for an hour. Maybe that'll get your scent out of the nostrils of that hellhound. So we'll do that. As the trucks go away, we'll saunter up to the front. Jin, you've got yourself. Keep your gun ready. We'll saunter up to the front. I'll ask a question or two, and if they give me any lip, then we'll make them talk, and we'll do it quickly, and then we'll just get in there. I'm getting sick of this. There's some
Skipper
bad
says-
mojo in the air.
Hey guys, check this out. Something's going on. And it looks like both of the trucks have pulled up to the building, and there's more guys who've sort of gotten out of the building. Looks like there's about 24 of these gangers hanging around now, like all in one place, and they're talking and waving around and pointing their hands at stuff. And there's a couple of them that have like big old dogs. One of them might be a hellhound. They might both be. It's hard to tell from here. And they essentially start to split up and spread out some, and they have more of an alert perimeter. And then the trucks sort of start moving out and around some more. But now the trucks only have 4 people on each of them, and there are more people on foot, but they're also kind of spread out. And they're starting to kind of walk around and patrol.
I don't like the look of this, Danen. It smells to me like you raised some attention from in there. Maybe we should lie low for a second.
You should be far enough away where hopefully they won't, patrol this spot. This is supposedly out of their turf by a little ways, but if you moved now, you'd probably draw their attention. So yeah, you kind of huddle down for an hour or so and watch their movements. They seem to be patrolling and moving around. After the first 10 minutes or so, they seem to get a bit more relaxed, but they still seem to be more just kind of out and about, and This might work more to your advantage because they're more generally spread out and I guess more visible, but they also do tend to be more generally alert and active. It looks like roughly half of them have some sort of a comm link with a smart gun and some sort of a pistol or shotgun or something. Most of the rest seem to have various different melee weapons, usually long things with catch hooks on them.
We could Sam Fisher this, and we could like throw things and lure one of them away one at a time, and
like kite them in the Tridio games.
yeah, say, hey, come over here. For all, 20 of them? No, I think we need to wait. Unless you guys think it's better for us to try to break this search perimeter and go in while the nest is a little lighter.
So as the hour goes by, then roll your body plus willpower. However many hits you get is how many stun boxes you recover.
Three boxes.
That's
so
not
I
bad.
just got that boom back.
All right, you have a nice nap, and Skipper's watching the area and marking their movements. It seems like none of them come close to or seem to notice you. And he's sort of tracing them and tracking their movements here and there. They seem to be moving mostly in pairs. And as he said, he's got the count at 24 total. 6 of those are ghouls, and they've got 2 dogs amongst them. You can't tell whether they're hellhounds or not. Does any of you have any sort of knowledge, skills about paranormal animals or critters or something?
No.
I am
Just
fairly certain
Arcana.
I do not.
Arcana in general, but
The only way
and
you-
magical security.
Yeah, the only way. Well, magical security. Sometimes hellhounds are used for that. They tend to have this kind of a Doberman look about them, but maybe bigger and scruffier and wolfier. And one of these dogs is definitely more of a pit bull, so you don't think they're both hellhounds.
So the hellhound one that I think is a hellhound, is that the big boy?
It does kind of look familiar to you, even though you're kind of only seeing it just physically and through sensors instead
Right.
of astrally. It's got this sort of sense of malice and bitiness to it that just this vibe you get.
Hey guys, I don't like that one. That's a mean puppy.
Unless you guys have a better plan, then I say we just go with this direct one.
Okay, I'm scared.
Jin, it would probably make sense for you to jam those comm links of whoever's in the front.
But I was looking forward to firing my Shiawase Arms Monsoon.
It'll happen.
All right, then I will attempt to jam the comm links.
While he's
I'm
doing
on
that,
edge.
I'm gonna try to sneak around to the back, hopefully with a stealth. No, not with a stealth spell. That's the bad idea right now. I'm gonna try to sneak around to the back and somewhere near the back of the building, not like against the back of the building or anything, but in that area, I'm gonna lay down a smoke grenade. If I can get back there while he's hacking.
All right, give me a stealth check for that to get in position and place the smoke grenade, and then give me an engineering plus logic test for your demolitions roll to kind of set it up on the right timer or whatever. Unless you're just doing like a wireless trigger, in which
Yeah.
case somebody might hack it in the meantime.
4 hits. I do not have a demolition skill.
All right, guided by Skipper's overhead observations using drones and whatnot, being able to carefully track the movements, along with a number of different projections he's been able to make based on watching the movements for the last hour or so. You're able to easily slip through to where you need to and plant a smoke grenade. Go ahead and give me your. Well, how are you planting it? What sort of settings are you using?
I was gonna do a wireless.
Okay, so you flip it onto wireless trigger mode.
Mhm.
Hope no other deckers are looking, and stick it where you want it.
Yep.
No one seems to have noticed you. Give me another stealth roll to slip back out. And actually, I'm going to say the matrix coverage overhead should be good enough to give you an edge on these stealth tests. So you get an edge from the last one retroactively, and now you get another edge because you're doing it again.
Nice.
And he's
2 hits.
Skipper is here with you in spirit.
So check this out. The jam signals action is actually really, really cool.
Oh yeah. The drawback is it jams everybody.
Right. So you need admin access, but you're not actually hacking, really.
You need admin access for the device you're using it for, which is your own.
That's right. That's what I was getting at. So you turn your own device into a jamming signal.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to do that. And for every hit I get, it will add to the noise of every device within 100 meters. So in addition to the 2 noise that already exists, I'm pretty confident that everybody in 100 meters is going to have a hard time getting any signals out if I do this okay. So that's
the drawback to this is you can't use your deck for anything else while it's doing this. It's just purely being a matrix barf machine.
Yeah. If you're gonna do it that way, let's not do it right away, because I assume that doing that would be pretty conspicuous. Am I right?
Not necessarily. I mean, they might notice their stuff isn't working as much. If they're more active on the Matrix, then they would definitely notice. But these guys don't seem to have a lot of Matrix infrastructure that could give them a lot of detail on it.
Which is it's just common. It's just they're not going to be able to get signals. That's what they'll notice.
It's probably something you're going to want to do like right before you do something, though, because the moment you start doing this, you're going to lose all the overwatch and coverage and communication that Skipper's providing.
Right, but we definitely want to wait until after we set off the smoke grenade and they start moving that way, because they're going to need to tell each other that happened to go check it out. And also, I'm wirelessly activating it, so we don't want to jam that.
The really cool thing about the jam signals action for you, Jin, is that you can fire that off and you could have it be doing something really effective for your team on the Decker side of thing, and leave you free to go, pew pew with your Shiwase Monsoon.
Yeah, let's do it. So yeah, I'm ready to go when you.
All right, I think.
And I also, because that's a logic-based test, I will be getting an edge on that, and then I'll be using an edge on that as well.
All right, so here's a plan. I'm gonna set off this grenade. I'll give you a signal when to start the jamming. We're gonna walk up, talk to these guys, not take any lip from them. Don't pull your gun until you see me pull my gun. And Danen, you gotta back us up. You gotta support, right?
As you guys are planning, and she's looking very agitated and nervous to go, and staring at this dog that tore her apart, you start to see little bits of blue electricity kind of course over her. She just kind of nods when you say that.
All right.
Any other preparatory actions that you're taking, Danen?
Yes. I'm going to go ahead and do my increased reflexes now.
You might need to touch something metal to discharge all of that electricity. So that your hair doesn't start standing up.
Don't tell me how to look.
All right, so that's your spellcasting test. There's no edge involved, at least edge generating. You can spend edge on the test if you want, if you have any. And then I think your drain is worse depending on how many hits you keep.
Yeah, the ones I choose.
So every hit you keep is one level of wired reflexes, so that's pretty huge.
Yeah, so I get minor actions for every hit that I keep. So let's see, that's going to change my...
And initiative dice.
Yep, so that's going to give me, depending on how many I keep here. So let me look at my drain.
It's 5 plus the hits you want to keep.
Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and...
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. It's for each net hit applied beyond the first, the drain value increases by 1. So You get one
Right,
for
so I get
free,
one for
so
free.
to speak.
So I'm gonna go ahead and do. Let's see. I get my.
How many did you roll?
I rolled 12 dice for my.
No, how many
Normally
did-
I get 13 dice for spell casting, but I'm at a -1 right now. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and
You got
keep
4
the
hits.
1. So that gives me plus 3d6, which is fun, and I get 3 minor actions, which is. So my stun I'm fighting is 6.
Okay, so you're keeping your 2 of that then. Got it.
Correct.
Hey, Manapot Studios.
Hey, we got a
Welcome.
raid
Thanks
from
for the
Manapot
raid.
Studios. Welcome, guys. We're playing
Hey.
6th edition Shadowrun here tonight. Checking it out. The system's not officially released until August
Gen Con.
at Gen Con, and we're getting a preview of it. So if you like Shadowrun, sit back and enjoy.
Yeah, they're about to go rush into some fleshmonger ganger turf. Well, sneak in to some fleshmonger ganger turf to grab this guy who owes some people some money and get out while hopefully getting bitten by the fewest number of ghouls possible. So, how are you doing on that drain roll, Dinan?
I rolled 4, so I'm taking 2 boxes of stun.
Okay, yeah, that's a bit of a wallop, but not enough to take too much out of you, and you're currently sustaining a powerful spell.
Yeah, but I have focused concentration, so psh.
So it doesn't even phase you, no penalties, and you're wired up like a street Sam.
Yay!
All right, I think as you're prepared to deploy the team into action here, I think this is probably a good point for our midpoint break. Do you think?
Yes, it's a great time for our midpoint break. Let's do that. We'll take a 5-minute break. We'll come back, and then we'll, try to execute our plan.
Or be executed. And that'll end our trip real quick.
Right. So, we have lots of things to raffle. Go click on the raffle button. So, yeah, I'm not gonna give the whole spiel. We want to take a break and get right back to things as quickly as possible. So, I will drop a link in here to remind people we're doing our fundraiser. So, go buy some raffle tickets and win some really awesome Shadowrun stuff. And we'll be right back in 5 minutes. So, see you in a few. I need to fix the way I have that set up, because this is the only show that I have it set up in the way that makes it so I have to remember to click it. But hey, we're here. We're waiting on Sarah to come back before we get started. We're playing Shadowrun 6th edition. I'm going to give you the spiel about the fundraiser. We're doing our summer fundraiser, and it looks like some people have bought some raffle tickets since we've started playing, which is a great deal, because
Nice.
it doesn't take very many raffle tickets to give you a really good chance at winning at least something on our raffle for the fundraiser. As I was saying before, if you get just like 5 of our raffle tickets, that gets you a 50% chance at winning at least something. And most of our things that we're giving away, that value would be worth it right there. I mean, just the beginner box set, the physical Streetpedia copy. You've got the Sprawl Ops, which if you didn't back the Kickstarter, you can't get it this early anyway. There's lots of stuff that you could get, and just enter the raffle. It would help us out because we need $4,000 by the end of this weekend in order to stay in business for another year, and we're doing really well with all your guys' help. We are at, let's get the updated number. I'm refreshing. We're at $2,635. We're 66% of the way to our $4,000 goal. We're going to be starting this streamathon up really in a good spot tomorrow. Speaking of, if you're joining us and you didn't hear the spiel before, tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern U.S. time, we're going to be starting our annual 36-hour streamathon to give sort of like the finishing touches. It's the finale of our summer fundraiser, so we're going to be doing 36 straight hours of content, tons of Shadowrun 6th edition analysis and commentary and discussion peppered in there, including, I think, at least 2 times, maybe 3 times, where we're going to have little like 1 or 2 hour sessions where we sit down and actually do some showcase 6th edition character creation. So that's a really unique thing. That's something that none of us have had a chance to showcase on stream before, and even if the character creation rules are not in the quick start rules. So even if you were at Origins, or you've seen or you know people who've gotten a hold of the beginner box set and the quick start rules, they don't have those rules in there. So if you want to see how character creation works, you should tune in, and you can see our schedule for the Streamathon right there on our website. Just go to shadowcasters.network/fundraiser, and the schedule's there. And yes, but we are back. Sarah's back. Mr. Johnson's back. Me and Opti, we never left. And we're ready to kick this off. You guys ready to punch some fleshmongers in the face?
Let's do this.
All right, so yeah, you're on the edge of Fleshmonger turf, getting out of Skipper's parked pickup truck. He's providing drone overwatch for now until Jin hits the jammer bomb. Rooster's placed a smoke bomb out in a certain location with a wireless trigger active, so we can set it off. I'm imagining that's running silent, so it's a little bit more difficult for Deckers to notice. And seems like Danen maybe stirred them up a bit when she walked through a wall and then got bit by their hellhound.
That'll do
because,
it.
There's about 24 fleshmonger gangers, half a dozen of them being ghouls, accompanied by a hellhound and a pit bull that are out, mostly in pairs, spread around, just watching for signs of trouble and looking about. The night is dark. Most of them seem to be human, but the ghouls have no trouble seeing, and there's likely some other metatypes amongst them and some night vision goggles. And there are also 2 trucks driving around with 4 enemies in each vehicle, and those ones definitely have guns. So I think you're preparing to sneak in somehow and fight some of the gangers, but maybe not all of them, but we'll see as you head on into the building and try to secure your target, which is Matador, a runner who is wanted for Nguyen.
Right. Before we get started, the Merciless Ming asked when's the raffle drawing, on the stream or after. We'll be doing it throughout the stream, so definitely you should, if you want to enter, get your raffle tickets early to guarantee that you have raffle tickets for all the drawings. We'll be doing it throughout, and certainly we have a ton of stuff to give away. We might not give it away all by the end of the Streamathon, but if any that's left, I will do the drawings.
And just to be clear, you don't have to be present when the drawing
correct.
Is done.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Right?
That's a question we get every year, and I should probably put it in big letters somewhere on the info page next year. But yes, you do not have to be present. Just if your name is drawn, we will, by virtue of you getting the tickets, we'll have your email address, and we'll get in touch with you and let you know that you won. All right.
Okay, so you've got some weapons at the ready, some plans in place. Danen's got this nice spell speeding up her reflexes, and you feel much more likely to be able to get out of the way of bitey dogs now.
Yep.
Should it come down to it? How are you doing this?
I'm gonna
Skipper's
look.
ready to give you overwatch from all the drones he's got in place, just up in the sky.
I'm gonna look at Jin, and I'm gonna look at Danen, and I'm going to get real serious and furrow my brow, and I'm going to say, in a way that sounds like he probably thinks that no one else has ever heard this phrase before, he's going to say, "Let's lock and load." And then he's going to cock his gun and start walking. He's going to, like almost like he's setting off a bomb, like he's going to press the button on, like the virtual button on his comm link to set the smoke grenade off, and then he's going to wait for people to start to disperse a little bit, and hopefully the way will be cleared to the front door, where there will.
As he
Go ahead.
As he says that, and we get out and get ready here, I look at Skipper and I go, "You heard him. Don't forget to lock the doors."
Should I... What... Does that mean we're going now?
Yes.
I guess so.
Okay, so I start jamming things now.
Wait! I'm not giving you the signal for that
I
yet.
literally just asked you if I should go,
No,
and you
we're
said yes.
going. Look, yeah, we're going. We are going, but you aren't going yet. I'll tell you. Just wait.
All right, so you set off a smoke grenade with
We
a wireless
arrange a
command.
hand signal, like
All right.
As you're arguing over whether your decker should start jamming or not, it does look like some of the gangers have noticed and they've pointed and they're starting to talk and wave around. One of the trucks pulls up to that area, and yeah, they generally start converging more towards the direction of where you put the smoke grenade. There are some kind of hanging around here and there, just kind of watching the perimeter, and some of them seem to start walking around while one of them waves back, back over there. Like you imagine them yelling, hey, you've got to stay back while I go see this.
All right. I'll say.
You've definitely got their attention and diverted it away from your path. That said, they are even more alerted now, and I guess a little bit more concentrated. There's one truck that is kind of making a wide circuit now around the perimeter, a further perimeter, while like a half a dozen of them are sort of like in groups of pairs, kind of watching things at the edge, while the rest are like in a big group with one of the trucks.
I'm going to take a really quick perception test to possibly change the plan real fast. Is there a hole in a wall somewhere nearby that we can see?
Yes, the walls are full of holes all over the place. Everywhere where there's a wall, there are big gaping holes in the walls. Some of which were once windows and doors, other ones you're not so sure.
All right. Okay.
the walls are dark and full of holes.
Yeah. I'm gonna nod to Jin to give him our non-prearranged signal to start jamming things.
All right, I begin the jam.
And I'm gonna say
Music black.
sub-vocal. I'm gonna say, all right, stay tight, follow me. We're gonna try to go through that hole in the wall. See it?
I'm gonna re-roll one of those dice.
They didn't disperse quite as much as I was hoping they would.
It didn't matter. Okay, so the total noise in the area is 4. Not quite what I had hoped, but there it is.
It should be enough to knock out any of the comlinks you saw, and actually it's not enough to knock out your communication with Skipper. He's able to signal
Nice.
boost his way up to where you can actually still get assistance from him, though it's a bit staticky and not quite as clear as it was.
I report back to everyone, hey everyone, listen, I was able to thread that impossible needle between blocking their communications and keeping ours up.
Man, Jin, you are so incredibly good at this.
I've never said the word godlike, but I would not do it.
I knew we kept you around for a reason. You're amazing.
That's clearly Shiawase quality right there.
Yes, indeed. Could not have done this on a whatever other kind of deck. I don't even know what kind of decks there are because Shiawase's cybers are the only ones I care about.
All right, let's go. Let's try to make our way up to that hole in the wall.
Okay, you go sneaking up to the hole in the wall.
Mhm.
Each one of you has to make a stealth test, but you each get an edge because Skipper is guiding you, letting you know when to go and where people are looking and that sort of thing. So that Overwatch does give you an edge point. This is stealth plus agility.
All right.
I did not get 0. 1 hit.
All right.
That's probably all I need to know, but did anyone get worse?
Oh gosh.
Got a 3.
Okay, so yeah, I guess as you're sneaking around, Jin, you slip on like a rock, and like it starts to scatter away, but you catch it with your foot right before it does. You're like, phew, and you put your hand on like some like chunk of a wall of something from before, and then it just totally crumbles behind you, and you fall back on it, and it makes a big noise, and all of a sudden there's a dog barking. And roll initiative. There are what looks like 2 enemies pretty close range that have seen and heard you. One of them is probably a ghoul, if I guess if one of you is astrally perceiving, you can tell that. And they have the pit bull with them.
I got a 13. I had rolled my initiative already back when I thought I was going to do it.
Finally, I got a 19.
18 here.
So yeah, I think I'm going to shoot a bunch of people. I've been waiting for this for a long time. I could feel it coming in the air tonight, as a matter of fact.
Hold on.
All right, so the enemies I'm just going to have all go on 10. They'll roll pretty close to that. Who goes first amongst you?
I got a 19.
Yeah.
19. So yeah, Rooster, you can definitely you saw that. He fell over. He was able to get up. I'm not going to have you start out prone unless you want to be prone, I guess. But then yeah, Rooster, you saw that and you looked and you heard the dog bark, and you definitely see these two looking over this way. One of them goes, "Huh?" And the other one definitely looks and points, and the dog looks like it knows where Jin is as well. They're about 30 meters away at this point.
All right. I am going to whisper and say, is there anything to hide behind?
There's debris and chunks and things all over the place, yes.
And are we close enough to the hole in the wall that I could run into the hole in the wall?
Not really. You're about a third of the way there. It's more than 100 meters away at this point.
All right. I'm going to tell everybody, find something to hide behind. And I'm going to do that.
Okay. I guess give me another stealth check. Actually, you can keep your last roll if you want, or you can make another roll at -2, but each additional hit adds to your previous one. I'll let you sort of bolster your previous stealth since you actually didn't give away your position yet.
Sure, I'll do that. I got another hit, which would give me a total of 3.
Okay. I'm going to call that a major action.
And so
And it's a minor for the communication.
Yeah. And I've got then I'm going to take cover for another minor action. And then
I'm going to say the major action covers cover 4, which is full cover. So you're hiding as well. So I'm not going to cost you another minor on top of that.
Okay. There's not a lot more that I want to do. Can you hold minor actions?
Yep.
Okay. Then that's what I'm going to do.
All right. Who's next after 19?
That would be me at 18.
All right. What are you doing? It doesn't seem like they've noticed you yet, but they're definitely looking towards Jin, and they have a bitey thing.
Yeah, I don't like that bitey thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and at least the humans won't be able to see us when we're invisible. So I'm gonna hide as Bobby said, but I'm also gonna use my 4 minor actions I have from that increased reflexes spell to turn them into a major action, and also cast improved invisibility.
All right, sounds good. Make your stealth check then. Again, I'm allowing you to kind of add to your stealth, and that will really only matter for the ghoul, who's the only one who will be able to see you if you pull off the invisibility spell as well. So roll that in your drain and stuff. And as you're doing that, we'll move on. I guess, Jin, when do you go?
I'm on a 13.
Okay, so you go before they do as well. What are you going to do?
I
have you
am
chosen to
going...
get on your feet, or are you still on the ground?
Does it matter? I mean...
Yeah, it takes a minor action to stand up if you're... And I'm allowing you to have done it before already if you had
Okay,
wanted
that's
to.
yes. If I could have done it before combat started, I will have done that.
Because you're definitely your position is definitely given away. You might be able to like break contact somehow, but they have definitely spotted you.
Well, I have been waiting for this moment for quite some time, and all my life, as a matter of fact. Oh Lord! And I'm just gonna shoot them in whatever faces they possess with my Shiawase arms monsoon.
Okay, they are 30 meters away, which is in the second range category. So what's your attack rating for that? And also, are you shooting one of the guys or the dog?
I will leave the dog to Danen, and I will shoot the gentleman. You said that they were in the medium or far range.
They're in the second range category, which I believe is near.
Near?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So my
That goes up to 50 meters.
my rating there is 12.
Okay, that's pretty good. You're attacking one of the guys.
Yeah, that's my sweet spot with the monsoon, which is a great weapon.
And
because
that does
it's
get you
Shiawase.
that does get you an edge from the because it's 5 higher than their defense rating.
Well then, how about we do this? How about we spend, what was it, 4 edge, Bobby, to attack all of them?
If you have full auto on your weapon, you can do that.
I believe that my Shiawase Arms Monsoon does indeed have full auto.
Yeah, so 4 edge, you can use the 4 edge boost called Anticipation. What that does is it allows you, while you're using a multiple attacks action, it makes it so you don't have to split your dice pool on that multiple attacks action. You instead get to use your full dice pool for each target in that multiple attacks. So,
normally you do a major action to fire with full auto, also using up a minor action to declare that as like a multiple attacks split fire.
right.
Oh wait, but you don't have to do that with full auto because that's the bonus of full auto. Never
Right.
mind. So you don't have to use that other minor action. And normally you'd have to split your dice pool between your targets, but because this is the special edge action, you don't have to. You get your full dice pool against all the enemies. I'm going to have you roll once against all of them. So we'll use the same number of hits for all 3 attacks.
All right, everybody in the chat, pray to Dunkelzan for me because I want this to be awesome. I'm rolling 10 dice. Let's get a bunch. Let's get 8 again. Ghost, damn it! That's a 1.
Great Dunkelzon's ghost!
You all let me down, chat. Your faith
Really,
was not strong enough.
Really, it's your fault for the preamble.
One hit on 10 dice. Yeah, you go firing off these bullets, just a spray of gunfire. And is that a silenced weapon?
No.
There's this bright flare of the muzzle flash and loud reports of the rapid gunfire going off in like with chainsaw-like speed, and they're just cutting through the air as the dog kind of barks and leaps forward, and the 2 other figures duck one to one side, one to the other, and they each one zigs, one zags, and they picked the right ones because when all's said and done, you just managed to put holes in a bunch of crappy rubble instead of your enemies.
Jin.
I'm just telling you, that could have been a defining moment in my career. But instead, it just sucked.
Yeah, you still have a few minor actions left. Do you want to hold them for now or do something?
Can I get behind cover?
Yeah, you can
that's
pick cover
what
of any
Brewster
level
said.
you want, up to full cover.
I will grab full cover because I can't see this going well.
You toss yourself behind an old van that is, there's not much left of it, but there's enough left of it to fully obscure your form. It's mostly an old rotted out rusted frame. And
By the way, Jin takes no responsibility for this in his own mind. He is firmly convinced that that the bad karma from everyone else has brought this upon him.
Certainly.
When you jump behind it, you bump something, and it knocks over like this cardboard box, which just partially disintegrates, and a bunch of like small black objects pour out, and then they start moving. There's some sort of like beetles or cockroaches or something that just flow over and across you in a way.
I jump out of the I jump out of cover.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
I can't handle this.
It's another minor action. You are now out of cover again.
Hey, it's what my character would do.
It's what
There's
my
a few of them,
character
like-
would do.
Yeah, there's a few of them that are still on you now, and there's like you're kind of like shaking them off, and get them off me.
I shake them off in the direction of the men. The gangers.
Okay, then they go. So I guess
Can
the
I
dog,
can I use
like,
my saved actions now? Just at any
Sure.
time? It's hard for me to explain things with these teeth in my mouth.
Sounds to me like you're a quitter.
I had the 4 minor actions saved because you were giving me the cover with a major action because of all the stuff that I did. So I guess I could turn that. So Rooster, seeing that Jin has decided not to use any sort of silenced weapon or take cover at all, kind of like exasperated in a way, but also secretly kind of
We
proud.
didn't talk about this before.
Yeah. No. Rooster's used to working with professional tactical teams. He takes for granted what people know. He's gonna basically do the same thing. With a smart gun system, I can switch my gun to a full auto for without an action. And I guess I'm gonna try to finish what he started.
Are you doing another anticipate as well?
Yeah, I'm gonna spend 4 edge and fire my Ares Desert Strike. So let me mark.
So
these
this
in.
is a well-designed action. It takes a lot to do,
I think
but
so.
it's fun, and you know what I mean. Like it feels fun
feels
and great
great.
every single.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you do a multiple attacks action with just a major action with the Desert Strike? Because you might have to do another minor action to do your like multiple attacks, don't you?
Well, it's full auto.
'Cause it's not full auto.
It is full auto. Yeah, it's a
That's
full.
right.
The Ares Desert Strike is a full auto weapon. It's
Oh, that's new. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Carry on.
Yeah.
It was always semi-auto before, so.
it's full
It's
auto.
upgraded for 2080.
Yep.
Yep. Cool. So yeah, you let loose with full auto with your big ass sniper rifle.
That's right. All right, so I've got a attack rating of, I think after my bonuses, of 12.
That's enough to get you an edge.
Excellent. Oh yeah. Then I've got I'm gonna roll a lot of dice because I've got 13 base for firearms plus a specialty in rifles, 15 plus a +1 for my smart system. So that's 16 dice, full auto.
All right.
Hold on, I've got
Take
to
your shots.
switch my keyboard. There we go. 16. Placoom! 6 hits.
All right. That is 4 net hits for 2 of them and 3 net hits for 1 of them.
All right, so base damage is 5 physical, so 4 net hits is 9 physical. Oh, does full auto reduce the damage, or does it increase the damage, or what is it? Does it do anything?
Doesn't affect the damage.
It's just allowing you to do multiple attacks. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's 9 physical and 8 physical that I'm doing.
All right, so looks like you savagely injured all 3 of them, just punching bullets through them, blood spraying out. There's this from the dog.
From Rooster's
then-
perspective, he's like secretly proud of Jin because he thinks like Jin got the idea from the last time they were together to just spray and pray, and he's like You know, he's like, okay, let's do this. This is how it's done.
They're
It's like, even
all
if it
still
didn't work out,
alive.
he's still proud.
Yeah.
All right, and the dog like started running towards Jin, and it suddenly breaks off and makes like a 90-degree turn to go running off in another direction, continuing to make pained doggy noises, which I will not attempt to replicate with my mouth.
Commitment.
I already did
Commitment,
one.
Mr. J.
Yep. Yep. There we go. So, yep. It's running away. See, that's why I didn't said I wasn't going to do it. But
That was
there
good.
we go. So yeah, it's a very
was for you,
injured,
chat.
poor injured dog. You should feel terrible. Animal abuse. The other two, though, they're more in the fight than the dog is. One of them was like, "Hey, come back, you bitch!" And the other one laughs, like he thought that was funny. And
Wait, was this the guy that got shot?
Yeah, they've all been shot. And yeah, one of the
good that
guys
they keep their
raises a
sense of humor.
pistol, and the other one like raises their looks like a rifle of some kind, and they're opening fire. There's multiple targets now, I guess. I think one of them's gonna shoot. One's gonna bring up his pistol. That's kind of sideways style, which it still works okay if you have a smart gun link.
Oh, we're in combat. We need to change the music here.
It is kind of chill and creepy music for combat.
Speaking of, this
Let's
is a Prism Shard track here. So
Oh yes, I made this song.
it's called Run and Gun, which is what we are now doing.
Puppy is running, we are gunning.
Okay, so squeezing off bullets at Jin and at names Rooster.
Do they
go
see? Do they see Rooster?
He just
Wait, hold on,
sprayed
sorry.
a bunch of bullets at them and shot
Fair.
them. So yes.
And I haven't cast invisibility on him yet.
Nope.
Okay, so we're looking at what's your defense ratings? I guess +4 for. Well, you wouldn't be in full cover anymore if you attacked.
No, I would have popped up and.
I guess. No, I guess you did get into full cover, didn't you? So. I guess cover 4 then, so 4 higher to your defense rating. You get 4 extra dice in your defense tests.
All right. So for those listening, defense rating is your armor plus your body plus what you just said, right?
Yep.
All right.
+4 in this case from your cover, because there's lots of like big chunky cover around here. So, oh, never mind. What am I doing giving cover to the guy who jumped out of his cover because he was afraid of the beetles?
Well, I actually have a defense rating of 21 then.
Well, shit, you're definitely getting an edge. That's the max you can get for this turn. Jin, how about you? Just your defense rating, no bonus.
Trying to find it on my sheet. It was written.
Body plus armor bonus.
Well, then it's going to be 9.
Okay, so no edge gained on either side on that. So you're both attacked to make your defense test. It's reaction plus intuition. In Bobby's case, you get +4 because of your cover. Do you have any actions left? And if you have an athletics skill, you could spend a minor action to do a dodge, which lets you add your athletics ranks to your dice pool for your defense test as a one-time thing.
Remind me to add athletics, at least 1 point.
Reaction
I
plus
think that's going to be a popular action. If you're in close combat, you can also, or it's an and/or thing, you can do a block or a parry, which lets you use a close combat skill as well, but it doesn't work with bullets.
I got 5 hits.
Wow! I got
Nice.
6 out of 8.
You're a ninja decker.
I flung a beetle in their face.
All right, bullets are
'cause you
flying at you. There's like all of a sudden dust in the air from the plaster or ferrocrete that's blasted apart by the bullets. It's all very like there's rain dropping down and reflecting in pools with the what few dimmed out neon lights are still operating in this area, because there has to be some, and it all feels very John Woo. Is that too old of a reference for people to catch? John Woo?
No, got it.
I don't
Okay.
think so.
It's been a long time since I've watched a John Woo flick, but
Sure, but that's okay.
yeah, there was a long time when I was like trying to dig up any movie I could find that was like an action movie where Chow Yun Fat was running around with a pistol in each hand. But that was a while ago. Anyway, I think that's all the shooting that's happening at you, and none of you got shot. The dog it was running away, so it's no longer going to be in the combat. It does appear that there are some other, reactions happening to, hey, what's that? And you pretty much alerted the whole area that there is a fight happening here involving guns. So, yay. Next combat turn, Rooster on 19.
All right. Well, now that this is happening, we've full auto is 10 bullets, right? I think it is.
It was in 5th edition. I'm not sure in this one. I will take your word for it.
I'll find out, or one of my fellow runners can find out while I'm doing something else. I am going to make sure that I'm going to keep my cover, and there's 2 dudes left.
Yes, and they have both been shot.
Yeah, so I'm gonna finish the job at least on one of them. I hate talking about killing people so cavalierly.
You're kind of an enigma, because I'm pretty sure that's like how he started the run. Like, let's go kill.
Well, Bobby's different than Rooster. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna use an action that hasn't been used before. But first, I'm gonna look up what it does. And then
let's while you're doing that, let's actually move on then to
thank you.
I believe Nen on 18.
All right. We are going to go ahead and try to summon Spirit again. This
Major
apparently
action.
I was calling the wrong one.
What force and what type?
Let's go. I want to bring our air buddy back again. So force 6, and no, we still have force. It's late, guys. And I'm gonna spend my reagents so I get edge. So I have all of my edge back, which is pretty cool.
All right, conjuring plus magic. You spend a major action. You start calling upon the power of air and hoping it doesn't steal your breath this time.
Yeah, I'm really hoping. Had a rough night. Oh my god.
What'd you get?
3.
All right, 3. So you start doing that, and you can feel it. You can kind of contain the energy, and like you don't connect your own breath to it with whatever mistake you made last time. You don't know what you did, but you don't want to do that again. And you start calling up. You start calling up the energy of air, and you're thinking of it and just calling up this spirit. And then there's this sort of, you can feel this cloak rising up from the ground and over and around you. And it feels like depression. But there's a spirit that has answered your call. It is sort of hovering over you and watching over you from astral space. And you have 1 service. You're looking at 2 drain.
Okay.
It's definitely not the one you got before.
Yeah, no. No drain though, and I have a force 6 boy, which is great.
You still have some minor actions left. It's a minor action to order a spirit, I believe.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and order for it to guard the 3 of us. And let me check my other minor actions. You can go back to Bobby.
Okay, the spirit will spend its action materializing because it realizes you're in mortal physical danger, and guarding you would entail, doing physical things. And yeah, we'll go back to Rooster here. Are you ready to go? What you doing?
I'm gonna use. I'm gonna take full cover first. For the taking cover, going to full cover will take a minor action.
Yeah.
And then I'm
Technically, I should have charged you a minor action to shoot out of cover last time, but I forgot about that. So.
Oh yeah, you're right. And then I'm
we'll,
going.
We'll have a minor action to go back into the cover. I guess makes sense.
Yeah. So we will. So now I am going to use a minor action to fire from cover, and a major action to make that fire, and I'm going to use. I'm going to switch to burst fire mode, and fire on the 2 remaining people using burst fire. So multiple attacks. So this is several things that I'm doing here. So minor action to take cover, minor action to fire from cover. That's 2. Then I'm making multiple attacks. That's 3, and then using a major action to fire the gun. So that will leave me with 1 minor action to do something with if I need to, because I have 4. So with a smart gun system, I don't have to take the penalty for firing from cover. And I am going to use 4 edge again to use anticipation.
What's your attack rating?
My attack rating after all of this will be 13?
Okay, you get
No,
a
it's
point of
12.
edge.
I'm sorry, it's 12.
Still get a point of edge.
All right.
Normally, you couldn't get or use edge when you're firing from out of cover, but Smart Link helps with that.
Right. Yes. All right. So that's that, and I will shoot. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Because I'm doing burst fire to attack, that decreases my attack rating by 2, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's how recoil comes into play. Unless you have something that compensates for that, your attack rating is reduced.
Oh shoot, I do have a rigid stock with shock pad.
All right.
So that would compensate for that by, I think, man.
If it compensates by even 1 point, you still get the edge.
Okay, well then it would compensate by at least 1 point, so I'll get the edge. All right. So there we go. Burst fire also increases my attack rating by, not my attack rating, but my damage by
Yeah, you
2.
sacrifice attack rating for damage.
Right.
Basically.
So
is how that works.
my attack rating is going to be a 7 physical, and then I'm going to roll 16 dice, and it's going to apply to both these guys. Okay, we're set up. Here we are.
All right, now Cool TC was asking if recoil was still a thing. This is kind of how it works. You can do burst fire with some weapons, most weapons, guns at least, which lets you add to your damage, but your attack rating goes down. That I think is kind of reflecting the fact that you're like shooting with somewhat less, precision and accuracy.
Right.
However, things that would compensate for recoil, like gas vents and the stuff that Rooster has in his gun, those have essentially the recoil compensation works by mitigating or reducing some of that attack rating penalty for doing those actions.
Right.
But I think it's almost always worth it to take an attack rating penalty to get some extra damage points.
Yeah, that's the way I feel.
That's my opinion, at least.
Yeah, that's the way I feel about it right now, especially since weapons in 6th edition, their damage ratings are a good bit lower than they were in 5th edition.
All right, so what are we looking at for damage on
I
these?
just rolled 6 hits.
All right, that's 4 net hits for both of them.
All right, so
I'm gonna skip the soak rolls even because they've each got 2 or 3 points left.
yep. So base damage would have been 7 physical plus 4 is 11 physical between the 2 of them.
All right, so just go and describe your kill shots then as you fire off the burst and take them both down.
So he after mowing them all down a little bit and then watching the dog run away, he instinctively drops behind this rubble and lifts his gun up to take his next shot, and he sees through the smart link apparently one of them is laughing about the dog, and that really kind of pisses him off. Because they're clearly not taking him seriously. So,
No.
so he decides to remedy that by spraying across both of them and showing them why everybody needs to be worried about him. And there you go.
All right, looks like they're dropped and the dogs are running away. Jin, you're the last in the combat turn. Any parting actions you want to take? Because it looks like more of them might be upon you or reacting pretty quickly.
Do I see any of them?
You're aware of through, I guess, Skipper keeping an eye on things, as well as your own observations as you've been moving and keeping tabs on matrix icons and whatnot. Wait, never mind. You don't have that because you're using your deck as a jammer. But everything else I said still works. You're aware that there are 22 more of them, plus a hellhound. The bulk of which are still concentrated about 250 meters away, near where the smoke bomb was set off, but there's like 4 more dudes and another dog that's probably a hellhound within 50 or 60 meters overall. A little spread out, but not completely.
I'm gonna shoot the dog. I'll run after the dog and shoot it.
Okay, minor action to move up. That'll put you in still the near range then. There are those guys. They hadn't quite seen what's going on, but they're shooting and whatever, and they're starting to investigate, and they're about to send the other dog over, which is the hellhound.
Now, for those playing at home, what I did there was purposeful. I could have sat back, but I only have 2 edge. But by attacking this dog, which I knew was going to be at near range, I'm almost certainly going to get an edge back for this. And I know we're going to be heading into another combat, so I purposefully did that opposed test so that I could get an edge back.
I hadn't considered that. That's smart.
What is your attack rating at that range?
12.
Second range category. All right, you do not get an edge.
What? Damn
Hellhounds
dog.
have a defense rating of 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well done.
Critters are scarier in this edition, I think.
So far, so scary, yeah.
Well, maybe I'll make a legend of myself by killing a dog at range.
But you still get to shoot it, so, there's that.
I did forget to add my +1 from my smart link earlier. So throwing that on and
Sounds
see
like
what we
that
can do better.
Didn't, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like a huge swing, but
With my last minor action, by the way, while this is going on, Rooster's gonna say forcefully through his subdermal microphone, it's time to find Matador and get the frag out of here.
that's what I was thinking in the back of my head. Like, I'll chase the dog, shooting at it, but it will move me in the direction of looking throughout the rest of the house.
Yeah.
And I got 4 hits.
Okay, that is 2 net hits. What's your damage with the +2? And
Damage value of the weapon is 4p, so that's going to be 6p.
yeah, it looks like you shot and injured the hellhound. It goes. "Arr!"
I will take a
Something more
minor
realistic sounding than
action.
that, but-
I'll take a minor action to reload, which gives me another minor action because of the smart gun system. So I guess, essentially that's kind of a free action.
Yeah.
Ish, right? Which I don't know why they just didn't say it was a free action.
I know, it was
Whatever.
It's a little
confusing.
weird how that stuff's awarded. You do this
I wonder
thing
if
that takes a minor action, and then you get a free action. Or then you get
Yeah.
a free minor action, additional minor action. Why not just say it doesn't take an action?
Yeah.
Or it takes a
Yeah.
free action. I don't know. Whatever.
Well, there might be an interaction with it some other time later, but
Probably. Yeah, there's,
so-
there's likely something that I'm not anticipating. That's
Well,
all
anyway,
right. You're probably right.
I reload, essentially, shot the dog, and moved in the direction of the dog into another part of the building.
You're still like outside the building. There's lots of rubble and cover and stuff, but you're
Oh, I see.
outside.
Well, then I'll head
About-
towards the building.
Yeah, you're a little over 100 meters away from the building now. I guess that would be the end of the round. It would be like I think a new initiative at this point, because I guess I would just include the other ones on their original initiative. We keep going. It seems like we're not going to resolve this whole grabbing Matador thing tonight, though. And we'd like to leave a few minutes to kind of chat about how things went.
Yeah.
Do we want to keep this going another combat turn? We could probably get one more in tonight if we want and just stuck to that and wrapped it up. Or we could wrap things up now with a little bit more, talk and reflect about how things went.
There's not a combat going on right now.
Yeah, it feels like
that was a good place to stop.
Yeah, it feels clean because we just took care of that immediate threat and and are just going to be maneuvering and waiting for the rest of the threats to arrive. So, or moving in. So I think it's a great time to stop.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up there. Good job, everybody. I think that this has been a fun session.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
think the challenge now is going to be somehow herding the gang members around so you don't have to deal with them all at once while also finding your target.
Yeah.
That was it's going to complicate things making so much noise on the way in like that, though.
Ha
Bobby was just getting tired of thinking about it.
And I can always count on Scratch to get the party started.
But
so
yeah.
one of the things that I found myself wishing tonight was for something like the Mutants and Masterminds mechanic, in that if you do something that is in character that actively screws your character or your team, that good role play should net you something. Not necessarily in this game.
There
I
are
understand,
so many Shadowrun players who are standing up and screaming right
I know
now.
that. I know.
Vehemently disagreeing with you about having a mechanic that rewards people screwing up the plan for their team.
Yeah.
But I value the narrative and I value role playing so much that I want to have some sort of benefit to playing a character.
I hear that.
It upsets people. It upsets your team when you do things in character that you have to go well, that's what my character would do.
Yeah.
It feels so lame. I wish there was some sort of mechanical bonus, on the other side to kind of say hey, that was cool. And
Yeah,
I guess
I hear
there
you.
is. I guess Edge kind of works that way. But
I hear you. I agree with you 100% on that, because that's the way that I like to play that way too. But certainly Shadowrun is not the system to support that type of behavior, I don't think. But
the
It's
simulation
much
is
fun to
nature,
always
yeah.
do the optimal thing, right?
Right.
It's fun to make I remember my first GM to ever run Shadowrun for me, and actually one of the first GMs I ever had sort of over me. He would run games that were just really punishing, second edition and third edition games who were a few guards showing up with assault rifles would mean a bad day. A single 6-round burst could be the end of your character with a fairly not too bad turn of dice luck. And then when I would get a chance to GM for him, he would just do these things that would be put his character in greater danger. I'd be why would you do that? You know what happens to people who do that.
Right. But
it was fun to see.
It is definitely fun. I'm more and more convinced as we keep playing that I'm really, as a combat player, I really am enjoying the new Edge system. How are you guys feeling about it as we continue to use it?
I want to play more of it because I don't feel like I am using it optimally.
Well, yeah, I will say that I don't feel like there are a lot. I like the system. I'm not necessarily thrilled with all the options that I have. I feel like what I just want to do all the time is save up for Edge.
Yes.
and then burst fire or full auto. Yeah.
Every time, yeah. That's what I was going for, right? I feel like if you know that going in, you kind of bank your Edge, and you use anticipation as much as possible.
Right. Yeah.
Which Which makes me like it less in the long run because I don't want that to be what everybody does all the time.
Yeah.
There's another kind of similar action that's really powerful and popular with melee characters in the Shadowrun or the Arcology podcast actual play that we're doing, 6th edition. If you, it's called, I think, Knockout.
Knockout
and
blow.
You have to have used edge previously in the combat, and then it's an edge test, and you make your attack with I think it's a melee attack, and then if you do an amount of damage equal to or more than their willpower after their soak roll, they're knocked out. Their stun box is full.
Yep.
And that seems to be pretty effective, at least with big, strong trolls with good unarmed combat skills.
Yeah, and it's only 2 edge, which I think does balance it more because you have to get in there, you have to do it, and you have to hit hard.
They seem really powerful, though, but I think edge is balanced out a lot more by the fact that you can only gain 2 edge per combat round.
Yeah.
It's like a whole round where everyone goes. It used to be called a combat turn. And you can also do a single edge expenditure over the course of a whole combat round. That means your defense tests, your attack rolls, your soak, you got to pick your one thing you're going to get it on.
Yeah. Merciless Ming is asking, Sarah, what do you think about playing a low edge character?
So it's been challenging the first few times and getting your feet under you. I have a little more insight now. Again, talking to Bob at Origins, Bob Bulbrecht, the intention of edge, though it's not said explicitly anywhere in the book, is anytime there's an opposed roll, you're comparing your rating over the rating of whatever you're rolling against. So whether it's perception, so if I'm doing invisibility, and my invisibility boost is 4 or more greater than their threshold or their roll, then I would get an edge. So theoretically, I could be getting more edge, which would help. But I said when we started doing the game that like I was building my character for my character, not to min-max or anything like that. But I'm kind of excited because aside from the stealth part, I'm really excited for what I'm about to try out with summoning, and I'm gonna get a crap ton of edge. So basically, with summoning, you can summon enough spirits up to force 3 times your magic rating. So I have a force 6 spirit right now, and I could summon a bunch of force 2 spirits and just rack up the edge by spending reagents every time I summon them. So I can have a small army of spirits and get a crap ton of edge to start spending. Also, my spirits attack rating, if that's 4 greater than their target, then they get I technically get the edge, but again, I feel like I'm kind of min-maxing to like figure that out and how I can utilize edge better because I'm curious about it, not necessarily because that's what Danen would do.
Right.
I have not felt like your character was min-maxed at all. In fact, I'm up to this point, I've kind of felt like until you just said all that about spirits, I was kind of thinking that your character is suboptimal because you're punished for using your normal stuff and you don't get to do the cool stuff that we are all getting to do with edge. So I was actually like, man, like this feels very punishing to magic. But with the spirits, then that might change things up.
Yeah, with the spirits, and I'm hoping like in further books and stuff like that they really dive into magic and like what you could do with being kind of more of a support character and like how to make that cool and stuff. But it definitely would help if I had that ability to have the opposed roll for like my invisibility or for silence or for whatever else, even maybe healing. I don't know.
I'd like to see initiations maybe add edge actions, for mages of certain types. That'd be a cool way to go about things. Or even, I mean, like all characters, right? Should you do certain things, you get edge actions that, like for example, Bobby, if you decided to go down the route of specializing with automatics, right? Like specializing in certain skills should allow you to unlock edge actions with those. That would be neat.
That would be cool.
A thought too is what I was trying to do this game. I spent edge early because then I was like, well, if I summon a spirit, I can earn some of that edge back and not have, quote, wasted it. But I also wanted to avoid summoning a lot until I got into combat because I don't want to go above my edge attribute because then I just lose it right away if I'm not in an encounter. So
Yeah, that's the limiting factor on like doing that with summoning those low force spirits with the reagents is your I guess the way I'm starting to think of your edge attribute is as an edge bucket, because it's how much edge you can carry with you from one encounter to the next. If you have more edge than your bucket can hold, you can't take it with you. It goes away. It resets down to what your edge attribute is, or however much you have in your bucket at the time, whichever is less. So you could summon a bunch of spirits as part of a longer running encounter in combat, which this whole thing is kind of probably going to be one big long running scene of sneaking and some fighting and finding the person and getting out. I think it's unlikely that Austin's going to be able to join us next time based on what he said, but if he is, it'll be nice to have if he is able to join us, it'll be nice to have your rigger joining you on this more actively.
Yeah.
bless you.
Yeah. Having what you said about what Bob said about, the intent being basically all kind of opposed tests having opportunities to gain edge. Since you mentioned that, I do remember having that read on it when I was first reading through it, and the problem is, of course, that, like you said yourself, that he said, it's not made explicit or obvious there, and I think one of the issues there is that they call generically the things that you're comparing attack rating and defense rating, and yes, a stealth test in this context has an attack rating and they have a defense rating, but it confuses the language. I think confuses it because you only think of an attack rating as being in a combat situation, but of course there's social situations, there's stealthy situations, there's all sorts of other situations where the actor would have an attack rating. So,
and while tonight it wasn't something that I think was explicit in the rules, but it seemed to make sense to me just based on kind of I guess the impression I got from the rules and how edge should work, that having a rigger that's sort of backing you up with drones keeping an eye on where your enemy positions are and movements are, it would make sense for me to give you an edge on your stealth test.
Yeah, I really liked that you did that, Mr. Johnson, because again, the spirit of edge is supposed to be like in the moment. Do you have some sort of a situational or tactical or environmental advantage over the other people that you're acting against?
So I don't know if it's a problem, but my initial thought with that is that you really have to have some trust between the GM and the players to have that system go as well as it should.
Why do you say
you know
that?
what I mean? Like,
elaborate a little bit.
Well, because like hey, I put out my drones. Should that give me a point of edge? Right? Like, and like that's just a judgment call. You know what I mean? Like, and if you have a GM that is more on the I don't mean this in a negative way, but more on the antagonistic side, right? Where like they consider themselves against the players, instead of co-telling the story with the players. Either way, I'm not trying to judge which way is best, but
then not be the antagonistic GM does not mean to go easy on your players, as I'm sure every
right. But I said so Cliff says like, ooh, that's neat. I like that idea. That's a point of edge. Right, and everybody agrees, and he's looking for ways to have the players, to encourage players to do that. But you will have lots of GMs that won't. You know what I mean? Like, and it will almost bring a sense of tension to the game when somebody thinks that they deserve an edge for something, and the GM disagrees.
Well, I agree with that.
Yeah. Anyway,
I agree with that. I feel like in 5th, it's edge is so precious, where it's like, you really have to earn it in order to get it. And I feel like edge isn't that overpowered in this, where like it's gonna hurt to just give your player the damn edge. Like, they're gonna spend it anyway on like fixing one die roll or something. Like it's not gonna hurt to just have it really be Yeah, have an edge, have an edge, have an edge, have an edge.
Right,
If
and I think
it
that's the way that it's meant to work in 6th. Like, so for example, me jumping back out of cover, right? Like, that should have got me an edge. Like, I'm not saying you did anything wrong. I'm saying like that's the kind of thing that I might have given an edge for, just because like it's RPG.
There's it basically says in the book the GM's free to give edge as a reward for good role playing or whatever, but in my case as GMing, I wouldn't want to give you the edge for that, because also edge is representing like this sort of flow of tactical advantage, and that's like just sort of directly
that was opposite.
right? Like you reward us with entertaining you, but you're not going to get a mechanical reward for doing that.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like that's where that's a weird. I didn't care, right? Like, it's not that big of a deal to me at all. I didn't bring it up or ask for it, but I could see that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what exactly I'm trying to say. I could see a player trying hard to do that kind of thing and get edge, and if they're just not playing with that kind of GM, that could be frustrating. And so, again, I say, and Cliff, by the way, you could not give me edge all day long, and I wouldn't care, because there's a level of trust between you and I as players and GMs that, like, I just don't care. Like, I'm having fun at your table no matter what, but I just don't know that that's going to be the case everywhere. I hope it will. I hope that people will have that trust, but I just don't want it to be an antagonistic system where a player expects that the edge system to be different than the GM does. I don't know what I'm saying.
I think in any role-playing game, like, just it's important to have this sort of understood covenant of some kind between the players and the GM, and you're not all going to be on the same page as far as what you're expecting to get out of the game, but you should have some sort of common expectations of how things are going to go down or whatever. And you're not always going to agree on it, but I mean, yeah, that antagonistic thing of the antagonistic DM, the waiting to see if someone's going to hit the trap so they can kill their character or whatever and laugh about it. Like, that's not how I roll. That ultimately I feel is for most people a thing of the past, though some people enjoy playing that way.
Yeah. I think
and there's room for that and systems for that.
I think when concerns like that become more of an issue are in games like Shadowrun, that have lots of organized play, because there are lots of people who play Shadowrun with GMs that they just met. So that it's good to have systems in place that sort of guarantee things and set expectations that can be clearly understood and stuff like that. So because I agree with you, Mr. Johnson, that you should, when in your home game, we all play together, and in our home games we have GMs and players that all have a relationship and they understand each other, and hopefully you're having that session 0 of a campaign where you're talking about what's good, all that kind of stuff. But when you go to Origins or Gen Con and you sit down at a table to play a Shadowrun missions game, then you don't have that.
The book provides a lot of those specific situations where edge might be played in the case of some qualities and some certain actions, and then a lot of the straight up combat stuff as well as matrix stuff, but not so much in the area of mage stuff or more, I guess, less like straight up combat interactions. It's not as clearly defined in many cases.
One of the weird aspects that I found is, like, for example, I have a quality that says anytime I use any logic test, I get an edge back. Like, that's not antagonistic at all, and seems just to, like, super benefit deckers.
So and if the decker's using Hot Sim, that gets them an edge on test too. So you're always going to get 2 edge when you do a logic-based decker action.
So I could wish that mages would get something like that too.
So,
because combat characters have a ton they can do to gain edge. I could wish that.
Here's the thing, though, is that Teslon is a GM for the Catalyst demo team, and he brought up that if I had taken Analytical Mind, I'm a Hermetic Mage, so every drain roll I make is a logic roll.
That seems awesome, and you should definitely do that, and also a little bit busted.
Right, but I didn't want to build my character that way, right?
But well, I don't know. Like that seems reasonable. But also, Analytical Mind just becomes the thing to take from now on.
But and
Right.
so
For
that's
everyone.
so I understand that being an argument, right? But my counter argument to that would be, I think that there should be clear paths to using the system, and not just like I think it's great to have these like sort of especially in a crunchy system like Shadowrun. I do think it's great to have these sort of like cool under the surface interactions between ways rules work, so that you can feel rewarded for having thought hard about it and figured out a loophole and found a way to min-max that makes you feel really good. Shadowrun is like min-maxing is not, in my opinion, a dirty word, right? We've got a crunchy system. It's a thing that you do, and I do think that it's good that there are ways that you can do that feel rewarding. But I think there should also be just as many, if not more, clear paths to using the system that don't require you to do things like realize and think hard, like, oh, well, a drain roll is a thing, and this quality would give me this. You know, like, I just, have obvious ways to do it. So.
Yeah, and I think as far as the drain thing goes, with the logic base, I'm not sure if like a drain roll that uses your logic in the attribute as part of the drain test counts as a logic test.
Yeah, I don't know. I know Teslon brought it up to Bob, and Bob was like, the little vein starts showing, and
I could see it go either way.
Rules as written, I would say that's a logic test.
I would too. Rules as written, yeah. I mean, as a GM,
I'm not sure.
in my home game, I might disallow it, but
I could also see a GM saying like, no, that really only applies in like a test that might have an edge generating situation, like
sure.
You're doing some sort of opposed action. But I don't know. I think as a GM, I'd probably allow it because mages are so fragged on drain in this edition.
Right.
It's much higher. They're not fragged on drain, but I mean, like, they're certainly suffering a little bit of a what's the term, nerfing in that regard.
It's definitely harder to shrug drain off in 6th
and
edition.
getting that little extra edge for doing the drain as a GM, I don't mind that because I think that's one of the few ways you have to mitigate it. So.
Yeah, look, Reverend says that maybe he sees drain not as a test, but as a defense against.
Well, we call defense tests. I mean, again, it depends on how you look at it, and as a GM, you have to make that call. But yeah, I mean, that almost like goes to support my point that there should be clear paths to getting the things that you're trying to do and working within a system, and not just these other ways to do it. I think that's been my biggest qualm with the Edge system is mages, and certainly I'm biased because we have a mage who struggles with it in the only game that I've played of 6th edition. So,
well, if you have a mage that's flinging directed like attack damaging stuff, there's an attack rating there.
Yeah,
and it pops up a little bit more. They're part of more of the same party, whereas Denen's a bit more subtle and crafty and sneaky and clever.
right.
And therefore I am punished for it.
Right.
Well,
right.
you're also not punished so
feel that
much
way.
by not being the one who gets shot, unless
fair.
of course you critically glitch your stealth roll and get bit in the ass by a hellhound in astral space.
Hey, now I have a cool looking scar on my ass, so.
On your astral form.
Yeah. And I mean,
Get out
I guess you could make the argument, like, if I'm to play devil's advocate, you could make the argument that it's working as intended, right? Like, what is Edge? Edge is a way to represent your advantage over your opponents, and you, Denen, is providing that advantage to her teammates and not necessarily herself. So I don't know. You know, it's
and
tough.
I guess the educating thing for analytical mind, I mean, you might be, if logic is your spell casting attribute, you're more hermetic. I mean, by designing cleaner, more efficient spells that are less draining or taxing upon you or something, you know, you would get an edge for your drain test. That can make some narrative sense to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
might
the
be
thing that's
cool.
harder about it is it's more abstracted.
It might be cool to have some actions in the future that don't give you edge, but that give your teammates edge. That would
I'd
be
like that.
Ooh.
thing in the
then you can
spells
really
or
support.
other things. Yeah, like
I know,
support
like,
characters could.
there's still increased attributes, so like I can still do that and like try to get you guys your attack rating a little higher.
Yeah, and one of the fewer used edge actions is you can, as an edge expenditure, give edge to other players at a 2-to-1 ratio.
Yeah, I almost did that this session because I had a lot of edge. But I do think that, speaking of support characters, I do feel like this is the first time, and maybe I'm just not crafty enough or haven't been in a group that has done it effectively before, but this is the first time I've played Shadowrun and felt like having a support character on your team actually feels really strong. Like we spent a lot of time talking about how, Sarah, it's hard for you to gain edge, but you know, like, you have been an incredibly effective part of our team by providing support to the rest of the team. Like, very effective. I think it's not. I think we even said it before. It's not an exaggeration to say that the first run we would not have been as successful as we were, or maybe not successful at all if it wasn't for Denen's support. So.
Yeah, I've been able to save lives a couple times, which is nice. So.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm having fun. Again, I'm just trying to play and figure out the mechanics of it. But I'm all for story. Like, if I just want to play Denen and be nerfed a little bit, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool with
Yeah.
me. But I'm also trying to, like, stretch myself and get a little more crunchy so that, you know, that's what we're here to do, is
Right. Yeah.
show
Exactly.
everyone the rules.
And I've got to say, it sucked to see you, like, fail that really good summoning roll and take a bunch of drain from it.
That was.
But I also got to say, I loved the inspiration that I had for, like, describing how that happened to you.
Yeah,
That was super fun.
that was cool.
Well, and when you explain it like that, I actually noticed on the camera at one point, like, I glanced up and I was like, oh man, I look terrified. Like,
Yeah.
so I like the description because it makes me really feel like, oh shit, what's gonna happen?
I was really.
as much as. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say real fast that I was really disappointed that Jin didn't get to mow all those people down.
Right.
Right.
Gosh darn it.
Probably wouldn't have killed any of them outright, but then Bobby's action would have finished them all, like, in a clean sweep there. But yeah, to miss like that was a little saddening.
Bad. So
Yeah.
bad.
But yeah, now you get to know how Virag feels when she threads a spell and then it fizzles.
Oh yeah.
Referring to our Legends of Earthdawn actual play podcast, which is a whole
Which you
different
can
game about-
find on anywhere you get your podcasts.
But yeah, as much as I'm enjoying streaming with you all, I'm going to be doing it again, like, a lot very, very soon.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we should probably go, because guess what? Tomorrow, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern, we're beginning 36 straight hours of streaming on our network for our annual Streamathon, which will be the finale to our fundraiser. So you should check that out. Go buy some raffle tickets. Relative D-Pod was kind enough to put some links in the chat just there. And go ahead and get the raffle tickets you want to get now, because we will start drawing names for that throughout the Streamathon tomorrow, beginning probably with one or two things near the beginning. So,
And as we learned from Bobby at the beginning of the podcast, your chances are between 0 and 100%.
that's correct. That is a fact. But no, seriously, your odds are really good. If you only get one ticket, you have like a greater than 10% chance of winning something. I mean, that's really good for just one raffle
all the
ticket.
somethings are awesome somethings.
Yeah. They are all really.
Yeah, they're not just
awesome.
like some things. They're
Yeah.
They're-
Aside from things like just simple things like PDF bundles for Shadowrun books and 25 or as much as $50 store coupons for drive-through RPG and stuff like that. We have the physical 6th edition beginner box set we're giving away. The Shadowrun Sprawl Ops board game. It's a really good version of it too with the expansion set. We a miniature set of Shadowrun Prime Runners that they just got made for and just started. They just sold at Origins. Physical copy of Streetpedia, Shadowrun leather dice bags, custom-made set of 4 wooden coasters with the Shadowrun logo on them, and a ton of other stuff not having to do with Shadowrun either. So check out that. Get a bunch of raffle tickets, and yeah. So Danger. So what you're saying is that I can buy a lot of tickets and really skew the odds. Yes, Danger Duck of Doom. I would like you to make it so that all the odds are skewed.
Skew them odds.
Yeah.
Skew them odds.
Make Bobby a liar.
Yeah, make it so, make it so, as Picard would say. Thank you guys. Really though, show up for the Streamathon this weekend. It's 36 hours, so show up sometime and hang out with us. We're gonna be doing so much stuff, like playing Paranoia tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm really excited about that. So, anything else anybody want to say before we head out?
There's a second box set from Aaron Burser.
Yep.
It's just missing the dice because he wanted the dice, but he's donating the rest. So yes, there's
Uh,
2 chances to get box sets. Just
Absolutely.
one sans dice.
Yep.
Guys, they at Origins, when I was running in the room, they were giving away some of the dice, so I have some, so I can replace those in that box for you.
Ooh, did you hear that?
Yeah, that's exciting. And then also, don't forget to check out the Shadowrun 6th World website, because there's a Doomsday clock that's going off in less than 3 days. And
What the hell's going on there? I posted the link. It looks pretty weird. I
Yeah,
have no idea
so,
what might be happening.
yeah, so Rem is actually working with Catalyst on something big that's coming down, so it's pretty exciting. Check it out.
Yes, do that. What about you? What about the rest of you guys? Opti, you got anything coming that you want to talk about?
I have something that has been happening and will continue to happen before and after the Streamathon, all throughout the month of June. The Neo Anarchist podcast, Radio Free Detroit, and the Deniable Assets podcast have been having a crossover podcast event where every day during the month of June, at least once a day during the month of June, we are releasing podcasts that cross over, and they all deal with the meta plot of the of Shadowrun 6th edition, which I don't want to say anything about, but I'm sure you'll be hearing more about that very soon. So yeah, check it out. It's pretty awesome. We've been getting a lot of rave reviews, so go back and check out the Blackout crossover.
What with the starter set? Caliber asked, when does the starter set come out? Are you referring to the original the
beginner box?
Set?
Some people got a chance to buy that at Origins. We have a couple that we're raffling off. I don't think we've gotten a clear answer from Jason. I'm not sure if he has a clear answer to give on when those are hitting stores, but I think they're basically on the way.
When it comes to when it comes to the PDF, I just spoke to Jason this morning, and he said that we get the PDF version of the big beginner box set to raffle off. So that's one of the things that we're raffling off.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, I missed that. July 10th, Aaron Burser's got us covered.
Nice, thank you very much. But yeah, so one of the things that we're raffling off is a PDF bundle that I'm calling like the 6th edition beginner bundle, and it's going to be the PDFs of the beginner box set, also the PDF of No Future, and the Streetpedia PDF.
Nice.
There's a couple of other Shadowrun bundles, but that's the 6th edition of the 6e beginner bundle. So.
All right, we've been wrapping up for like 10 minutes now.
Yep, we're
I will see you tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern. Be there or be square. All right, guys.
You know, I'll be both.
All right, see ya. Thank you guys for hanging out.
Bye,
Yeah,
everybody.
thank you.